Hello and welcome to Build Up to a Good Game. Kick off an hour and 5 minutes away, which means we are live. Usually the lineups are out in a few minutes, but because it's European football, they come out an hour and 15 minutes before kick-off. So Gonzo, without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into the West Ham team for you. There's only one change from the side that won at Goodison Park. Gonzo, guess what it is? One change.
Zuma.
No, Fabianski for Areola. So in goal for the Hammers tonight is Lucas Fabianski with the back four: Vladimir Soufal, Konstantinos Mavropanos, Kurt Zuma, and Emerson. In midfield, we've got Edson Alvarez and Thomas Souček with James Ward-Prowse playing ahead of them. Lucas Paqueta on the left, Mohamed Kudus on the right, and Jared Bowen up front.
Gone strong, hasn't he? He's gone strong for this one. There's no doubt about it. I'll tell you what, though, having spoken to the old man when we did our Patreon podcast earlier on in the week, and then I spoke to you, he pretty much mirrored what you said in the preview about going with Areola. And even I said, oh, you know, maybe it's heart over head picking Fabianski. He said what you said. He's not picking his best goalkeeper. And I think that ultimately is the issue, quite possibly here. So, look, I'm sure, you know, trot out a load of platitudes, a load of cliches, like Fabianski's never let anyone down. I'm sure he has. I bet everybody that anyone says that about, I bet they have. Fabianski has definitely dropped the ball into his net before. But he's a reliable goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper. But at the moment, I feel like we've definitely got a very, very firm number one. And which is better than having a firm number two. But I was, it's the only thing I'm a little bit worried about. But I understand why he's done it.
Yeah, it's good to see, to be fair, him going strongest 11 in his eyes, bar the goalkeeper. I think it was expected. Just for context, we'll get onto the West Ham bench in a minute, but just for context, Nia Figueroa is not on the bench. David Moyes had confirmed in his press conference that Maxwell Cornet had not travelled to Germany, and there's a question mark over Gerd. He's not named, so that possibly is part of the reason for Kurt Zuma starting this evening. It puts a bit of pressure on Zuma, actually, in terms of fitness to play tonight and then probably play on Sunday because Gerd being unavailable. I think Ogbonna might be feeling a little bit unlucky not to get a nod this evening, but he might start on Sunday. We'll see if Kurt Zuma is capable of playing so many minutes in such a short space of time. I'm pleased to see this midfield, and I'm pleased to see this attack, quite frankly. I would have liked to have seen Zuma come out, and I would have liked to see Areola remain in goal. But apart from that, I'm really happy, to be honest with you, Gonzo. I'm nervous for the game, though. I think the last 24 hours or something, it feels like a big occasion tonight, now that European football's back, because as soon as the group stage is finished, you can park it. You can say, right, forget about European football until March. It's a long time away. But now it's here. It's like, whoa, hang on a minute. This is huge. If we can get a good result tonight, and then next week we can get through the tie and we can get our name into the hat for the quarterfinals. And there is a little part of me that's finding it hard not to look at the scores elsewhere already in the Europa League, because obviously there was 5:45 kickoffs, and I would suggest that some of those results at the moment are maybe favourable to a side looking to progress in the Europa League. Just so you know, Bayer Leverkusen are 2-0 down at the minute to Karabag. Karabag. But however, Leverkusen, Alonso's made a lot of changes tonight. If that was the West Ham way, it would kick off, basically. I can understand why. I mean, for that to happen, we'd have to be 10 points clear of the Premier League, and for Moyes to make 8 changes and go, I'm focusing on the title, and we'll go, yeah, all right, we get it. But yeah,
I'm sure we'd still kick off about it. I bet Leverkusen chat right now in the build-up show. It'd be the build-up show. It'd be the watch-along. Like Leverkusen chat watch-along. It's probably going mad, isn't they? They're probably just relying on their match bingo coming in.
Well, there's no match bingo sponsorship on this video, actually, because there's no game. Right, well, instead, I'm going to promote Patreon in a minute. Thank you. You've ruined my plan. Well, you're not ruined it yet. I'm still going to promote Patreon.
I was just trying to tee you up. Sorry, mate. You're a bit agitated. You're a bit hangry today, are you, Geo?
Well, leave it out, right? The bench for West Ham this evening. It's European football, which means 2 goalkeepers are back. The bench for West Ham is Alphonse Areola as well as Anang. We've also got a numerical order, but it's in positional order on the screen for you. We've got Ben Johnson, Aaron Creswell, and Michael Antonio. Cam Phillips is on there alongside Danny Ings and Angelo Ogbonna. And we've also got a few youngsters in Earthy, Casey, Mubama, and Orford.
Yeah, it's a shame they can shoehorn another goalkeeper on there, isn't it, really? But it's nice to see the youngsters on there as well. He's got a blend on there of experience and young players as well, and rightly so. Penny for Calvin Phillips' thoughts. I know it's you could obviously say that it's Phillips' fault because he's he's been a bit naughty and a crap on a couple of occasions. But he certainly would have joined West Ham thinking that he was going to get some regular first team football, and he's found he's pretty much in the same situation he was at Man City. Hey, look, he won't be the first or the last player that happens to them.
Yeah, he's just in Freiburg instead of Copenhagen. That's all. He's just
That's right.
He's got to go to a different country.
But I'll tell you what, he should have got at Leverkusen. He'd be getting a game tonight.
The big difference is it's. I know I don't need to explain this to you, but he's substitute number 1 or 2 at West Ham, and we seen at the weekend that actually he's the attacking substitute as well as a defensive one. So we needed a goal. So Moyes' solution was put Callum Phillips on in order to push Thomas Tuchel forward. So when we needed to go more offensive, he looked to Calvin Phillips, and naturally we were looking to go more defensive. He would look to Calvin Phillips. I think Calvin Phillips is now the 12th man at West Ham. He's probably substitute number 1. And also Edson Alvarez. If Edson Alvarez gets booked tonight, he's suspended for next week. He's picked up 2 yellow cards so far. You get 3 bookings, you are suspended. The bookings are wiped at the quarterfinal stage, so they don't get wiped yet. So he can still miss the next week's game. So Alvarez is on the naughty step for this one. Right, we're going to take a look at the Freiburg side, and I'm going to promote Patreon, including this lovely T-shirt here that somebody could win. You have to log into Patreon in the next half an hour or so. I'll explain why in a minute. In goal for Freiburg this evening is Atubulu. He's in goal for the Germans. With left back is Christian Günther, the captain. He's back there, who we didn't face in the group stages due to injury. They've also got Gild and Ginter at centre backs, as well as Sidilia at right back. Hoffler in midfield, who can be a little bit naughty sometimes. He's in there with Doan on the right, who's the Japanese Shaqiri. On the left, they've got Grifo, which is their version of James Ward-Prowse, Eckstein and Holler in the middle, and then Salia up front for the Germans this evening.
Who's the Japanese Shaqiri?
Doan.
Why is he the Japanese Shaqiri?
Because he moves like Shaqiri, scores like Shaqiri.
All right. Not Shakira, Shaqiri.
Yeah, his hips don't move, his feet move.
No, his hips don't lie. No, they don't.
The bench for the German side this evening, we've got Müller as well as Uphoff. Cesalia is on there, as well as Weinhardt and Keitel. Kubler, Adamu, who's a bloody good player, actually. Adamu's on the bench with Mulissa, Philip, Makengo, Roll, and Gregortish. He's on the bench as well, who scored their winner in extra time against Lons a couple of weeks ago in the 99th minute. That's who notched the winner for Freiburg. Anyway, that's your opponents this evening, Gonzo.
Excellent. Yeah, well read. Very well read, by the way. I'm looking forward to this, mate. I'm looking forward to this game. There's no doubt about it at all. Yeah, I'm feeling. I'm not suffering with your nerves, actually. I'm feeling quite confident. Yeah, absolutely. Cock a hoop, some might say. Bullish.
Good. I'm glad you are. Anyway, I read Mike's comment in the live chat. It just tickled me a little bit. The poll is now live in the live chat. There's 4 options to select from. Please choose which one which reflects your opinion on West Ham's starting 11 this evening. Right then, we're going to promote Patreon now before we take comments from the live chat, and we'll do our bet giveaway as always. Over on Patreon, well, first of all, if you fancy spending £3.60 per month to support Hamish Chat, where we do 1 video per day per channel for free. I know you've got to put up the adverts, and sometimes there's a brand deal, but it's still free. It doesn't cost you anything. That's because of Patreon. Because of Patreon, we can do that. So for £3.60 per month, you can help us keep doing that, as well as unlocking new content over in Patreon, including our player rating series. Part of the new features that we brought in the last couple of months is our prediction competition. So for every single game now, we have prizes that we give away. All the winners go into a hat. Usually there's 1, at most 2 winners. Well, that's just a lie. The most winners we've ever had in one game is 3. Usually nobody wins. So you basically guess the score and the first goal scorer of the match. All winners go in the hat. We pick 1 overall winner, and whoever doesn't get selected also wins a prize. But tonight's competition, right, let's have this out. If the winner is a subscriber, we've got 3 tiers. So if the winner is subscribed to the supporters tier over on Patreon, they will win a signed Tony Gale autobiography. if you are in the Mild Addicts tier, which is the next one up, you win a signed Tony Gale autobiography, but you will also win a signed Julian Dix print. But if you're an addict, which is our top tier, if you're an addict and you win the competition tonight, you win the Julian Dix signed print, the signed Tony Gale book, but also this football shirt, which is a signed Alphonse Areola shirt. There you go, Areola's name and number and his signature at the bottom there as well. Entries have to be in by 7:45, so you've got 40 minutes now to, if you're an existing patron, make sure you got your prediction in, and if you fancy joining up, go to patreon.com/Hammershack, links in the description below, and get your entry in before 7:45, and good luck to everybody that does enter. Anyway, Gonzo, would you like to have a little dabble on this game?
Oh, I fancy myself here. I'll tell you what, we're going to bring home the bacon tonight.
Well, come on then, what you putting in the bet to bring home the pennies?
Kudus will score a goal.
Okay, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Did you remember before the last one I said about Souček scoring a goal, and you said I can't find him on the Bet365. So I don't know if that's form, but I'll take it as form. Kudus to score a goal. Ooh, who's their dirtiest player?
Probably Hoffler, but it's a difficult. I'll find out for you. What else you fancying while I find out who their dirtiest player is?
Low goals, under 3 goals or whatever it is. 2. I don't know. 2.5. I don't even know. Low goals. I'm thinking for this one.
What's Charlie done now? Why have we got Antonio starting? What's going on here?
It wouldn't be a build-up show if there wasn't some discrepancy. I think the best one was when Charlie wasn't here. That was the good stuff. We had people in the team who
let me solve this. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. It's lack of patrons. That's what's caused that. Really, we've had to make cuts here at Hammers Chat.
Yeah, while you're dealing with that, I've
done it. There you go.
I have been swimming. For those of you that asked, I have been swimming. Just if you're wondering why am I telling the chat been swimming, I started swimming 2 games ago. We've won. I've gone swimming before each game. We've won both games. I've been swimming today. Alas, boys and girls, I can't think that there is a way that I can go swimming on Sunday before the game.
Right. Well, we know who we're blaming. Anyway, Hoffler is their dirtiest player, 6 yellow cards. So I was correct with it being Hoffler, who plays like defensive midfield.
Do we fancy a card for Hoffler?
I mean, if you want, he's probably up against Ward-Prowse.
No, I don't know. Need to foul Ward-Prowse.
But Kudus can come central, can't he?
And pack a target and weave in there and do his stuff. He'll get deployed as a number 10 at some point as well.
Right, what else are you fancying then? It's decent on a forward with that, so we could do with.
Well, go on, you choose something. Andy Walsh is saying 6+ corners.
It's not very good odds for that, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Salia to have 2 shots. I keep pronouncing his name wrong. Apologies, but
I don't think he's watching. He doesn't mind.
I know who it is when I say Salia. It's fine.
We all know.
Well, I don't know. Somebody accused me of motivating the entire Freiburg team because I was happy getting. Remember, I sent you the comment.
Oh, you did? Yes. But basically, somebody suggested that they could somehow pin and use or clip Geo's comments, suggesting that we were pleased to draw Freiburg, and somehow that could be used by the Freiburg club to motivate them. Basically, Geo might have done the Freiburg coaches' team talk for them. So if we lose today, it's Geo's fault. If we lose against Burnley, it's my fault for not going swimming. Although I might, as someone suggested, have a little paddle in the bath. I don't know if that counts.
Anyway, right then, 100 quid. If this bet wins, we're going to give one of you guys £100. We'll tell you how to enter in just a second. We need 3 things to happen. We need Salia, that's Sallai, him. We need him to have 2 shots for Freiburg. We need Nicholas Hoffler to get booked, and we need Mohamed Kudus to score any time in the game. Those 3 things to happen. One of you guys will win £100 cash. In the live chat to enter, please put the following phrase.
The Cockney Shakira.
Cockney Shakira, get that into the live chat. Thank you very much. And right then, Gonzo, you've seen the lineups. What are you thinking?
Firm and fruity, mate. I'm enjoying it. I like it. I'm up for this one. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I'm pretty confident actually. There's sometimes we go into these games and you look at it and we often say, look, what we've got no evidence. Sometimes you say, are you confident? And I say, gee, I've got I can't back it up. I can't be confident. That was certainly the case. I must be honest. Going in, I think I might have said exactly that going into the Brentford game. I said I can't be. I have no evidence to be confident. And if anything, it's sapped me confidence. I wasn't. I wasn't really feeling it for that one. But we have evidence here. We've beaten both of these. Not both of these teams, not two of them. We've just beaten the same team twice. Let me just get that right. I understand about this law of averages, and they may well beat us at some point. But I would hope that David Moyes is, by picking a strong team, he's going for it. And you never know. Look, if Leverkusen are still 2-0 down, I know Liverpool are up, but you never know. I'm quite confident we'll get through. I really am. And this tie, I think we'll get a favourable result. It might be a draw, but I do still fancy that we might win it. I think we'll get a favourable result.
The results from around the grounds at the minute, which is just under 70 minutes gone so far in 3 of the games this evening. Roma are currently 3-0 up against Brighton, so it looks like Brighton are on their way out of the Europa League. Karabakh are 2-0 up against Leverkusen, and Sparta Prague are currently 4-1 down at home to Liverpool. So some goals flying in already in the Europa League. And in the Conference League, it's currently Ajax 0, Aston Villa 0. That's how the English teams are getting on so far. And obviously, we need the English sides to do well in Europe in order to get that 5th Champions League spot. So, Brighton look like they're on their way out of the Europa League, and Leverkusen got it all to do. I mean, there's still over half an hour to go. 20 to 30 minutes to go in each game. So there's still plenty of time for it to change. We'll keep you up to date, actually. We don't tend to keep our eyes on the other scores, but
no,
it's a little bit different tonight.
It's interesting as well, isn't it? I mean, from both that perspective in terms we want English teams to do well, but also this is down to the last 16, and I've got to say, if it looks like Brighton go out, and if it looks like Leverkusen go out, then all of a sudden you start thinking, well, we've got a little bit more of a chance of winning this now, so
probably more afraid than Karabakh than it was a couple of weeks ago, though.
Yeah, anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Listen, I think this is the team we expected from Freiburg. I don't think there's any surprises with their starting 11, truth be told. There's no surprises with our starting 11. I think if you should have been expecting Fabianski to come in, and when Moyes has been quite honest in his press conference, which was a doubt. So Zuma was the only question mark, really. I think the other 9 outfielders were almost guaranteed to start tonight after that two wins against Brentford and Everton. But I like it. I'm glad that he's taking it serious. I'm glad he's going with his first 11, trying to get the win this evening. I say that his team selection suggests he's trying to get the win. But even if we do employ the low block and sit back, which I think we will, I think Freiburg will have the majority of the ball this evening. We can hurt them on the counter-attack with Kudus, Paqueta, and João Bowen. There's no doubt about that. And so I'm looking forward to it. I do have nerves. I think it's just because it feels like quite an important game, and I want something to play for the remainder of the season. And the first time round we were in the Europa League, it was almost a little bit of a novelty thing. We were still doing well in the Premier League, but it was almost like enjoying the Europa League while it lasts to some extent. And then it got a little bit serious. Hang on a minute, we're doing all right here. But we were always in that top period of the top part of the Premier League where if I felt like I was expecting European football again, and we got it. This time it's the Conference League. But while we were in the Conference League, I was almost expecting European football again because I expected to win the bloody thing, which we did. But now it's like there's no feeling of you will have European football next season. And we know there's 2 ways of getting it. One's the league table, which is in a good position at the minute, a long way to go with some tough fixtures. And then we've got this tournament, and I want European football. And it just feels like if I want something to hope and dream of for the remainder of the season, it will be this competition. I want to get back to our place where we are favourites because of the scoreline. And that is a draw. If we can get out of here with a draw tonight, that's a good result. To take it back to the London Stadium where it's in your hands, a win and you're through, I think that's a good position to be in. If we can get a form of a win, that'd be a fantastic result for us this evening. So I'm looking forward to it. And anyway, it's now Karabakh 2, Leverkusen 1. The Germans have got one back, and Roma are now 4-0 up against Brighton. So
that's not good, is it?
No, looks like the seagulls are flapping in Italy. They're on their way out.
The seagulls are flapping in Italy.
Right then, it's time to see what you guys are saying in the live chat. Please get your thoughts in about the West Ham team, a little bit about the Freiburg team, but we're reluctant to click on those comments in case we get
accused of stuff.
No. In case we get like trolled. Oh, this player's good, and we're clicking on like, yeah, look, that guy's good, and we're reading out a name that's not actually a player. And
oh, I see.
I'm very reluctant. I hesitate to click on comments regarding teams I don't know, because I don't know if it's a trick.
You don't. I'm very bad at that.
I know. Andrew says, I thought Antonio might have been given a start today. Thought he might have finally gone for a 4-2-3-1. I feel like being away first has let Moyes start relatively defensive, and no away goal ruling has allowed every team to be defensive away from home. That's why there's some, not tonight, but in the Champions League, there's been some boring results away. First leg, the away team don't really have much.
Yeah, it suits his football. This format suits Moyes' football, no doubt about it.
Charles said we must have the smallest usable pool of players in the Europa. I disagree. Maybe at this stage, but certainly earlier on in the season, we were coming up against a couple of teams that didn't even have a full bench, and they were at home. They'd be at home and not have their full allocation of substitutes. So maybe now, when we're in the knockouts, we're up against the meatier sides of European football. Let's see. Harry says, got to be honest, more excited to see Di Canio tomorrow than the game tonight. He's doing an evening
down in Bournemouth, I believe.
Yeah, we've got one of our patrons. I didn't intend on plugging this. One of our patrons has won a signed, personalised Di Canio shirt. Someone else has won a signed, personalised Bowen one, which is getting done next week, and that's getting sent over to him because he doesn't live in the UK. And the winner of the Di Canio one does live in the UK, so he'll be getting his shirt next week. But tomorrow, Di Canio is doing the personalised signing shirt for the patron winner. Mark says, surprised Zuma playing twice a week. I hope he holds up.
I think he probably wouldn't, Mark, if Agurd was fit. I think he might have rested him. But this is sort of a theme that we're seeing here. At some point, Moyes is going to have to either rest some players, and I do mean at some point. I don't mess with me today, but might be Burnley, might be the return fixture, or he's going to have to start substituting early. It's things like this, which is why you should be taking Bowen off earlier, particularly at the time when we were like 4-1 up against Brentford. It's things like that. It's a little cheeky 15 minutes rest here or there that could possibly make the difference. So he's going to have to, he needs to substitute a little bit more. Otherwise, this might well come on and bite him on the arse.
AS said, I think Antonio off the bench is the best move, both for him and for Bowen. Leo said, I think Salah is going to cause Zuma problems. If they play 4-4-2, then he'll be a problem in the gaps and moving him away like Brentford did to us in the beginning. Johnny said, no way Leverkusen go out over 2 legs. And don't forget, Freiburg had a good result against Bayern, so I'll take a draw. Preview said he's disappointed that Calvin Phillips isn't starting. Danny said it's a solid lineup. Didn't expect anything else. 1-1, poor first 45 from us. Andy would have rested Kurt Zuma. Personally, would have also kept Ariel in goal and keep that form rolling. I completely agree. Leo said Alvarez is crucial today and he needs to keep it clean. Cram says if Liverpool and Brighton go out, he'd fancy a semi-finals for us. Alex said we need a win to have something to hold on to. DC says you can be sure Moyes has just let his arrogance control him and there's no clue about Freiburg's recent setups.
Maybe, I don't know. Yes, he may well think that he's seen enough of Freiburg this season. He doesn't need to. That being said, I'm pretty sure we'd have had a scout out there. Pretty sure about that.
Yeah. Where are we? Let me scroll through.
Whether Moyes listens to his scout is another matter, but I think West Ham would have had a scout out there.
Yeah, Tyler said would have started Ogbonna for this one. Joshua said, while the football can be dire to say the least in the league, have to say I'm happy Moyes is our manager for European football. Saps some hope in the league, but in Europe it's more exciting.
He's got a chance, as we say. His football sort of suits it, and it's funny looking at what's happening to De Zerbi there. Really, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, he's a good manager, De Zerbi. I think he is. I think he's done a good job, and I do think I can only lose so many players. He lost his midfield, and I think that's very difficult for anyone. You can only go to the well so many times. And think, okay, we're going to lose these 2 players who, I mean, he went for McAllister went for lower, didn't he? Because I think maybe there was a clause or something.
Yeah, the release clause, yeah.
Yeah, and Caicedo went for whatever 105 million, whatever it might have been. it's to expect them to actually, oh, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to go back down to Argentina, or we're going to go back down to Brazil, and now go and get another player for 5 million, or go and get this, or bring it. You can't keep bringing these players through and expect them to be as good as the ones that are there. But it is interesting how Moyes does seem to be better suited to this style of football than some of the more flair managers, if you like.
Steve says Moyes is going to drain the first choice players, no rotation. Blank Lad says, can we safely assume Agard is off in the summer? I'd much rather him play. He's injured. Maybe he wouldn't have played. Even if he was available, he still might have played tonight, but he's unavailable this evening. So it's not like he's been left out. He's just unable to be selected for this one. Steve said Moyes is going to flog these players into the ground by the end of the season. Davis says that Roma have great players. It's not a surprise. The Premier League isn't that good. Ooh. I don't know enough about Roma, truth be told.
In fact, I was having a look at them the other day. They had a really, really good win. They had a 4-1 win the other day, I believe. Dybala scored the excellent free kick, of course.
Andy's asking for the benches on the screen now. I'm not going to read it out, but it's everybody bar Agard and Maxwell Cornet. But the West Ham bench is now on the screen at the moment. Right then, time for a little bit of score predictions then before Bevo joins us. So get your thoughts in now. Make it obvious who you think is going to win. You put 2-1. It's difficult to tell if you're going for Freiburg or West Ham. Obviously go 1-2. It's obvious, but please make it clear who you think is going to win. Gonzo, in the preview, you said 3-1 West Ham, I think.
Yeah. Did I say 3? I might have said 2. I think I might have said 2. I think I might have said 2-1, or might have sat on the fence. I don't know. It's I'll go with 2-1 though. I'll go with 2-1. Yeah, I'm happy enough to predict that.
Well,
I think.
Feza and Darren both say 1-1. Callum went with what I thought might have been your prediction, which was 3-1. Johnny says 2-2. Chris said great lineup on Hammers Chat and strong team lineup on the pitch. Be nice if we can get an early goal and maybe at halftime give players like Bowen, Kudus, Alvarez a rest for the weekend. A lot of 1-1s. Rich, Iggy, Grouch, Brian, all 1-1. Stephen reckons a narrow 1-0 win for West Ham, while he's going 2-1. Maverick saying 4-1, while Andy's going with your real prediction of 2-1 as well. Skype says 2-0 West Ham. Robert is 3-1 West Ham. Phil's 2-1. Tyron says 3-0. Carl is 3-2. 3-0 says Paul. Drainhole says 3-1. 0-0. 1-0 from Andrew with Tom Suchek getting the goal.
Very specific.
Glenn and Frank both reckon 3-1. Mike says 2-1 to West Ham. David Boy is also saying 1-0. There is also Montello saying 1-1, with Christian saying 2-1 to West Ham, and Hammer's dad saying 3-1 to West Ham. Arthur is going for Desmond, the first 2-2 we've got of the evening, while Steve's saying 0-0. Chris is 3-1 West Ham. Bobby with the first defeat on the cards with 2-1 to Freiburg, but Kevin says 2-1 West Ham. Aqua says 3-1 West Ham. Steve is 2-1, 2-0, 2-0, 4-1, 1-1, says Gary. Cram says, because you went swimming, he's going to go 2-1 West Ham.
Oh, come on.
Skizzo's 3-1. Chris is 1-0. Fuzzy says we win 5-1 after conceding first.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine putting that on as a bet and it coming in. That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
120 says, I prefer Areola, but I'll stand behind Fabianski. Let's hope they don't have as many shots on us as Everton.
It doesn't matter if you're stood behind him. Nothing's going in.
Mickey's 2-0. I don't know is 2-2 with a 1-1 from Joshua. Irons match says 4-1. Suchek with the first goal. Toby says, with no Areola, we do not win.
Oh, do you know what? I can understand that.
Yeah, I find myself agreeing with that, actually.
It has saved our asses a lot. It's part of the way we play, rely on the goalkeeper.
I think it's a bit of a risk changing the keeper tonight, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I came round to your way of thinking, certainly.
Tony and Ronda both said 3-0. Lewis is 3-1 to Freiburg. I don't know. Michael said 3-1 to West Ham, but all goals in the last 15 minutes. Mancunian says 3-2 to Hammers. Peter's 2-1. Leon's 2-1. Cal and Preview are 2-0. Blowing's 3-1 West Ham. 2-1 says Mr. A. 3-1 says Brian Flowers. Dean's 3-1. Big Red is 4-1. Gareth says 1-0. Ben Johnson to come on and get the goal.
Come on.
Then lift up his T-shirt with his contract demands.
Absolutely, carry a pen. Do a little celebration.
Yeah, maybe something like that would be good, wouldn't it? I would send a message, wouldn't it? Mo says it will come at us, and that will suit David Moyes. Or
That's
Moyes
a
ball.
great UAP mole. What a great little avatar there. He's got a UFO beaming up a mole. Oh, sorry, a UAP, not a UFO. Not UFOs anymore.
Producers Geo Gonzo car. Ultra says 2-0 West Ham, and Gad says 1-0 West Ham. Steve, Gerd's got a bit of a knock, I think. Moyes did refer to it yesterday and said that there was a question mark over him, so it doesn't sound anything too serious, but it's enough to keep him out of the squad altogether. Davis is just telling us that Aston Villa have had a red card, so that's them down 10 men, and also I believe it's still 0-0. Yank fan says, is Moyes planning on playing Zuma both games? Oof.
Yes, yeah, I think looks like he is.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, I guess, with Gerd out. Maybe Moyes, well, Moyes will know more than us, but maybe Moyes knows that Gerd will be okay for Sunday. Like,
yeah,
he will have an idea if a Gerd's okay for Sunday or not. He will know what the chances of a Gerd being available is, and it's quite possible that he's fine. It's just a bit of a risk for tonight, but he should be fine for Sunday. So with that in mind, you might think, right, okay, I'll play Zuma tonight and I'll play Gerd on Sunday. Simple as that. But if he knows a Gerd's unavailable for Sunday, I think it's a big call to play Zuma tonight and Ogbonna against Burnley. It's a difficult one, really. Actually, what do you do? Maybe a Gerd's sick again just before the international break.
Yeah, I still suspect Moyes would. If you were to put a gun to his head and ask, which I know many people would like that to happen, but I think if you did that and asked him Europe or Premier League, I think he would still say the Premier League is most important. I almost think he would want to, yeah. He still thinks that's his best way into Europe.
Well, the thing is, though, if we don't know what the landscape is with his new contract. There's so much reported, it's difficult to know the truth. But one scenario is, and I would argue is the most realistic one, is that there is a contract there for Moyes, but it depends on how he gets on between now and then of the season. It depends on what the situation looks like in May. And if he does a good job, he will get that contract offer. And if he doesn't, he won't. And I would argue that I think the Premier League's probably a bigger factor in that contract offer than the Europa League. I think he'd have to win the Europa League in order to get that contract. Runner-up, maybe it would be enough, but knocked out in the semi-finals, I don't know if that's enough for him to be to get a reward for good performance. So there you go. There's your new contract for finishing fourth in the tournament. I'm not sure, but I think the Premier League, if he got 7th or 8th, I think that might be enough for Sullivan to say, there you go, there's your contract, regardless of Europa League. That's your thing, because the Premier League is where the money is, isn't it? We get paid in Europa League, but the real profit comes from league positions.
Yes, but he's been able to get and I agree, and I've always fancied that he preferred the Premier League, but he would have liked that glory. But I also think for him, because he likes to tell the story. He tells it he was at it again the other day. He tells people what he's done, what he's achieved at West Ham. He's constantly, because, and I do understand that, because he's under pressure, I think he feels the need to tell the story. Well, look, since I've been here, and so I actually think from his storytelling perspective, even if he did get to another semi-final, for him to turn around and say, well, 3 consecutive years I got to a European semi-final, then won a trophy, then got to another semi-final. I think he'd like that story, and it's good. It's a good boast. It's a good brag. There's no doubt about it.
Leo's got a good comeback for you. So with that logic, thinking the Prem is more valuable, and why does he risk Zuma and not play Ogbonna?
I don't know. I just suspect it. I don't know this to be the case. I just suspect. There is no gun, and I don't know it to be the case. But I suspect if you did, David Moyes would value the Premier League more than Europa.
Christian says we've got statistically the best goalkeeper in the Premier League right now, and Moyes isn't playing him. Yank fan says this is a winnable game, but with us being away and with Freiburg wanting some payback, I can see this ending in a draw. Rondon Tony says with injuries and suspensions coming, this is when we will see not giving kids minutes will kill our season.
Particularly with how they're doing in Europe. I mean, there's been this narrative, which is they were the best team in the country last year, winning the FA Youth Cup, and now it looks like they might well be the best youth team in Europe as well if they carry on the way they're going. So, yeah, I'm not saying a lot of them are not ready for first team football, regular in the Premier League, but that doesn't mean they can't come on and have 15 minutes here or there. So, yeah, I think he'd be doing himself a lot of favours if he did.
Carl said this centre-back situation really worries him. Mavropanos better not get injured for the rest of the season. He's turned into the most important centre-back. It does feel a bit like that now, doesn't it? It does.
Been a good signing, I think.
Joshua says his dad's a similar age to Moyes, and he keeps repeating the same stories, so it might be an age thing.
So do I. Don't worry about it.
Grouse reckons Alvarez is getting his yellow card tonight, and he's going to be suspended for the home leg. The thing is, against Everton, he committed 0 fouls. He's walking a tightrope in Premier League and Europa League right now. It's possible that he could pick up a yellow card tonight and against Burnley, and then he misses Freiburg and Aston Villa, and then Newcastle after the international break. So it's a bit of a tricky one for him, actually. He's
yeah, but we know from that he can be disciplined.
Sorry, Darren, I forgot. Let me switch it back. There you go, Darren.
He got your attention with the uppercase, though, didn't he? There, I feel, with a bold uppercase.
I completely forgot. No one else has said, "Can you put the teams back up?" Yeah, I might have missed it, but yeah. There you go. There's the teams back up for you, Darren. That's the 2 teams for you.
He didn't say it. He just wanted to know how long you were going to do it for.
He said thank you, though.
I know. So it's the uppercase.
Callum says, do you think it's better if we go up tonight to Alvarez cops a yellow card instead of risking it next week?
There's no risk next week. If he gets it next week, he's fine for the quarterfinal.
No, gets wiped after the quarterfinal stage.
Sorry. Oh, I see. No, I don't think you can do it. I think you can be disciplined. There's not much Edson Alvarez can't do in my book. I've been very, very impressed, actually. Yeah, Edson Alvarez for Prime Minister, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned. I trust him. I trust him. I don't want him to go out. I trust him far more, him being disciplined, than him trying to get a card, because I think that could go wrong. Yeah.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. You know, we will never be in that comfortable a situation tonight, even if we won. Even if we're 3-0 up tonight, we will never get into that position. Even if we're 2-0 up tonight, I still think it's dodgy to say to Alvarez, go on then, take your yellow. You know what will happen? He'll get booked. Sunday, Calvin Phillips will get injured against Burnley, and then we'll have to face Freiburg at home with Souček and Ward-Prowse in centre midfield. Brilliant.
Okay, get about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Right then, it's time to bring in the third person along tonight, and that's Bevo.
Hello, you all right?
Hello, mate.
How you doing?
I'm enjoying watching the Dark Arts of Roma. It's so fun to watch. They are in full Dark Arts mode right now. It's beautiful.
Are they?
They're I'm sure the chat be saying, Gio, you might be keeping up because of bets, but they're 4-0 up against Brighton currently. And one of their players just went into one of Brighton's players with his elbow. Somehow the Roma player was the one who was rolling around on the floor as if he'd been shot. Literally one pass moves forward, another one of their players goes down like he's been shot, and there's just this wide angle of both the Roma players being like, ref, as all the Brighton players are just like looking massively dejected. It's a beautiful thing to watch, it really is. You got to respect it.
You said this about Neil Mopai. You respected too much skullduggery, I'm telling you.
I like a little bit of the shit house as well, I do.
I can't get enough of it. I think it's like when it's against you, it's obviously very frustrating, but when it's not, oh my God, it's the best thing to watch. I remember this was back in 2004 kind of era when Kevin Davis was playing for Bolton. Back in those days, Kevin Nolan, Kevin Davis, that Bolton team that were just absolute kings of it. There was a time, I think it was Kevin Davis or Kevin Nolan, the ball gets played over the top, it's bouncing, completely open, goalkeeper comes to collect it, there's a defender running back just in front of him, and they just gave the defender a little push, it bounces off his head, lobs the goalkeeper and goes in, and then he ran away celebrating like he scored, and it counted, and I was just like, that, my friends, is football. That is some top-class football right now. I love it. I'm here for it.
Alex says Alvarez isn't ready for a Champions League team just yet. The rash yellow cards are a hindrance for him at a top club. He probably wouldn't get his place back once suspended, as the squad quality is better. Charlie, where do you sit on this? We just to read his comments. WebGib said this is the best side we can put out. We've been having a debate over the goalkeeper.
Fabianski is more than good enough to play European football, and given the fact that he is here, we might as well play him. I like if
Alvarez.
say goalkeeper.
What?
Gio just said goalkeeper.
Yeah, I did. Don't want.
I thought you brought up the Alvarez thing.
Yeah, like 2 comments ago.
Gonzo's firing on all cylinders. He's been swimming, ladies and gentlemen. He's loving life. I think he's more than good enough to. I think he's more than good enough to play. Look, if you ask me right now, who is the best goalkeeper we have, I would say Areola. But if you're gonna ask me who would I play in this game, it would be Fabianski. He needs game time. This is a good chance to get it. He's not like he's a bad goalkeeper. If anything, he does some specific things better than Areola. His command of the box, his communication, all that kind of stuff is much better. For example, his long kicking is much better. For example, so there are things that I prefer him doing over Areola. If you said you need to win this game, which one are you playing? It would be Areola. But in this scenario, it's 2 legs. He needs game time. I'd be happy to play. I'm happy with Fabianski, to be honest.
I understand your reasoning. You're not wrong about anything, but I agree with everything that you've just said. I just think Areola was better suited for this evening, especially when there will likely be opportunities to counterattack this evening. And I just think Areola's a better keeper.
I think Areola's long kicking is god awful.
Yeah, but his throwing is majestic.
His throwing is brilliant, but there's honestly at the moment I get so every time I watch him try to kick the ball long, it's comically inaccurate. There was one time in the last game he kicked it and there were like 4 of our players forward and he managed to get it perfectly in between all of them. I don't know how a guy, because he is comfortable on the ball. Like when the ball's on the floor, he's passing it around short, that sort of stuff. He's really comfortable. I don't understand how a goalkeeper could get so bad at long kicking. It's incredible. It's utterly, it's mad. A couple of people agree
with you. Marvin said Fabianski has to start all the Europa games for him. It's only fair. We have a cup keeper to play then. And Hugh says 100% agree. We need Fabianski match sharp in case we need him. And it's now 2-2 in Karabakh against Leverkusen. So the Bundesliga side have equalised against Karabakh. So that small bit of excitement just disappeared pretty quickly.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's disappeared fast. Charlie, what's your score prediction? Actually, no, we'll get the poll results and we'll disappear. What's the poll results, please?
We asked how you felt about the starting 11. There were 4 categories going from I love it to I hate it. 1% of people hated it. 11% of people disliked it. 17% of people said they love it, and 69 said they like it.
It was 69 last time as well.
It makes sense, right? It makes sense. I think if Areola started, that love it figure might have been a bit bigger. But I think you look at the lineup we have, I think most people would accept that today.
I just said I like it because Gerard's unavailable, and the only thing I don't like is the goalkeeper. It's the only one I'm not keen on. I would have minded Ogbonna over Zuma for this one, but I understand why he's not done it. But the keeper one, again, I understand why he's changed the goalkeeper. I just think Areola's been too good recently, like kept us in games good. So for that reason, usually I'm quite happy to change goalkeepers for the cups and stuff like that for the match sharp this reason. I think it's important sometimes, but Areola's just been too good, so I've not been not too keen. Anyway, right, before myself and Gonzo go, Charlie, what's your score prediction, just out of interest?
2-1 probably to us.
Oh, you two are saying 2-1. I'm gonna agree with the live chat and say 1-1. Which I'm okay with. I think a draw's a good result. Think about London Stadium, but I'm hoping we can sneak a win somewhere. Anyway, I'll be back at half time to join Bevo. So Gonzo, I shall see you tomorrow morning for the player ratings.
You certainly will.
And Charlie, I see you at half time. There's no match bingo tonight. The only thing you have to promote just once during just watch along at any point, just once is Patreon if you can. Okay. Just not right now, just later on. Just
we'll see when it happens.
Thank you very much.
Give me a time. Give me a time between 0 and 90.
Maybe like -3, like 3 minutes before kickoff, just to.
Okay. If 3 minutes before kickoff, if I forget chat, remind me to promote Patreon.
9 a.m. tomorrow, me and Gonzo are live on Patreon doing the player rating. So the video's live in the morning at 9 a.m. Anyway, Bevo, I will catch you at halftime.
Cheers, Jay. Appreciate it. But between now and then, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for West Ham versus Freiburg. I was about to say Roma because I've got Roma on my screen. More dark arts are happening. It's very exciting for me. But let's start by looking at the teams. Let's deep dive the teams a little bit from a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible. How confident are you of a West Ham result this evening? And while we do that, let's have a look at how they line up. I didn't mean to press that twice, but I did. West Ham line up as such. Fabianski is starting in goal with Sufal, Zuma, Mavropanos, and Emerson in defence. Alvarez and Souček start at the double pivot with Ward-Prowse in between Paquetá, Kudus, and Bowen. One change from the last game against Everton. Fabianski coming in. Like I say, I think this is probably arguably the strongest team we could play. I, with Geo, could see an argument for playing Ogbonna ahead of Zuma. Just 1 to rest Zuma, and 2 because I'm still not super jazzed about his performances recently. But apart from that, that's a very strong team, and I'm happy with it, to be honest. I'm actually genuinely happy with the side. I think that's probably the best chance we've got at winning is putting out almost this exact 11, right? The bench, Areola, Ogbonna, Cresswell. In fact, let me do it in positional order because that's all over the shop. So let me say it in positional order. Areola, Anang, Ogbonna, Casey, Johnson, Cresswell, Phillips, Urfi, Orford, Ings, Antonio, and Mubama. And I mean, as strong a bench as we can put out currently, it is what it is. I like the fact there's a little bit more flexibility to it, a little bit more balance to it. As much as I don't want to see us have 2 goalkeepers, because I think that's just ridiculous. Why do we need 2 goalkeepers? I do think that defense specifically has some stuff we need in it, right? You've got defenders, you've got midfielders, you've got attackers, you've got people who can play out wide, you've got people who can play at fullback, you've got goalkeepers, you've got everything we need, whereas usually we overload in defense, have no midfielders, and then 3 strikers or whatever, and it's very, very frustrating. So at least we have some semblance of balance today, even if it is still like 2 goalkeepers, which is completely unnecessary, 2 centre-backs, which is completely unnecessary. I think we at least have some balance there. And there's some youth players on the bench as well, which is exciting. They won't get game time. Urfi won't come on, Orford won't come on, Mubama won't come on, Casey won't come on. If they did, it would be very exciting. I can't see it happening. But ultimately, the bench is what it is. It's the senior players plus, I guess, the most advanced youth players. I guess you could word it in those sort of terms. Let's have a look at some of these confidence levels. Thank you very much. 3 times in a row we're repping it. The luck until the luck runs out. Until the luck runs out. This might have to be the way. 8, 7, 5, 8.2, 7, 6, 6, 7, 6, 7.5, 7. I don't actually know, Robert. I don't know. I've not looked at anything but football because football's just, I don't know. Have a look and have a gander. I'm not sure. Good evening, by the way, Dean. Hope you're well. 7, 6, 6, 6, 7, 6.9, 7, 8, 7. It's quite strong. 6.9 plus 1.1. Nice. You love a bit of it. We love a bit of it. Dave going for a similar score. I feel like we do often have guests. Yeah, we do, Alex, to be fair. Yussi, what a guy, by the way. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, would he get into this team? No, but Yussi was an underrated goalkeeper. What a guy. Also, what a name, Yussi Yaskalan. Lots of confidence in the chat. More so than I probably would expect. I think it makes sense given the run of form we're on, given the side we're facing we've already beaten. It makes sense that I'm looking at a lot of 7s right now. There's some 8s sprinkled in. There's a couple a little bit lower. For example, Steve from Rhodes. Good to see you, Steve. I'm at 6 tonight. I think it's a draw all night. Stuff like that makes perfect sense to me, right? But it's probably roughly 7's probably the average you would suspect. Who's Freiburg's top player? I mean, it depends. Doan's usually the one people go to because he's one of the most fun ones to watch. Wide player, attacking, shots away, all that sort of stuff. People like watching him. So he's arguably up there. Ginter is very good. Gunter is a decent midfielder as well. He's a fullback. He might be fullback actually. But he's a decent player. But yeah, Doan's the one that people talk about the most. 8 says James. 6.66 says my liege Wally. Billy's gone with an 8. Listen, it's not going to lose. It's their time. It's their season. Good confidence in it. It's what I'm saying, Sean. I like to see it. I like a bit of the vibe. I like the confidence going into this one. It's not something we have a lot at the moment. So to vibe it, their vibe it is a good time. It's a good time. Let's have a look at the opposition team as I give it my best to read it out. Freiburg line up as such. Atibolo starts in goal with Sedilla, Ginter, Gilda, and Gunter in defense. Hoffler, Doan, Egstein, Holler, Grifo, and then of course Salai up front. Is it Salai or is it Saloy? I've never known how to pronounce it. Their bench running across the bottom of the screen in alphabetical order, in positional order. There we go. Is Muller, Uphoff, Salzlai, who's pretty decent as well. Weibhaupt is how I'm going to pronounce it. Keitel, Kubler, Adamu, who's another good player. Moose Elijah, Philip, who I think came on against us in the last round. I seem to remember Kengo, who I think did as well. Roll and Gregorcic is how I'm going to say it. Not particularly nailed those pronunciations, but that is the lineup. Can't act like I know much about it. We obviously faced them twice. The information from that has completely left my brain since then, so I can't really go into too much detail on their side, apart from, like I say, picking out those specific players. And Doan's the one that everyone finds very exciting. The one where most neutral fans go, "Oh, you like watching Doan." So it'll be probably one to keep an eye out for all of us this evening. But yeah, that is the lineup for Freiburg for the home side. Is it the way to pronounce those names? No, almost certainly not. Almost certainly not. The game is, of course, live on TNT Sports 2 in the UK this evening. However, if you haven't got a way to watch the game, there are definitely ways you can do it. All you need to do is scroll down into the link in the description below. There's a bit there called Join Our Discord. Lovely Hammers Chat. West Ham community fans of all clubs are welcome. But most importantly, on the left-hand side, there's a bit called Stream Links in which you will find what you're looking for. Toby, good to see you, sir. How are you? I hope you're well. Hope you're good. Roma ended 4-0. Just they were pulling Brighton apart for fun at one point. It was ridiculous. See here, Gary says Brighton taking a bit of a tanking, even though he has gone. Mourinho did a great job building. Did a great job in Europe with Roma. Yeah, he did, and obviously they've been taken over by their old boy now, which is very exciting for people like me who get excited about this sort of nonsense. But yeah, they really played well. From what I saw, I didn't watch the entire game. Obviously, I was getting ready for this. I was only seeing it in fits and spurts. But every time I saw it, Brighton just couldn't break them down, and then they would just ping along the counter attack, which is just so effective. Very strong performance from Roma. Would not like if we were to get through and they were to get through. Would not like to see them. Would not like to see them face us in the next round. I can't lie. It's the sort of thing that is scary to me. That is very, very scary to me. Let's talk about Sub Bingo, shall we? Sub Bingo is, of course, the game where we predict when David Moyes will make his first substitute. It doesn't matter. That's what I need. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter what time. It doesn't matter who it is, although I'll have the sub bench running along the bottom of the screen now for you. There we go. But I'm going to go 60 minutes because that's all that matters. 69, sorry. And we're going to say... I'm going to say it'll be Phillips. I'm going to say 69 minutes. Phillips for 69 minutes. Phillips for Alvarez is what I'm going to go with. A bit of a bold one there. Bit of a bold one. Saving that for all in. I did enjoy it. I mean, they were olaying as opposed to saying Osprey, but I did enjoy it. I was watching it last night. When I was sat here working, I did enjoy the Osprey chants translating over the Atlantic. Even though again, it was very much they were saying Olay, but we'll get there with them. Not yet. I've been told 3 minutes to go. With 3 minutes to go to a kickoff. I'm trying to keep it remembering in my brain, Martella. I'm trying to keep it in there. 3 minutes before kickoff at 7:57 we'll begin the promotion. But until then, not happening. I don't even know. I used to have a button for that sort of stuff. Do I still have that? I'm scared to click on this in case it's just some sort of madness. She's that's a little preview for what's coming up. It's very exciting. I know, De Rossi, Totti. I do love Roma. Roma are a team I have a massive soft spot for. They are my Italian team. I absolutely love Roma. I love the kit. I love the kit. I love the legends that they have, like you say, Totti, De Rossi. De Rossi was a guy who I would buy in every FIFA if I was not playing as Roma, and if I was playing as Roma, you keep him forever, along with Totti and all that. They just have such a balling team. I love Roma. I love a bit of Roma. Bit rough when Mourinho was there for a while, but I mean, they were successful, so it is what it is. It's just the way it goes. 88th minute says Darren Phillips. 65 minutes it says Carl. 71st minute says Mark. 86 minutes says Stephen. 76 minutes Oggy for Zuma is actually probably quite a strong shout, Leonardo. That's actually quite a strong shout. Phillips 72nd minute. Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Big up. Let's go, Austin. Big up to Ontario. Let's go. What was I think? I was thinking about Ontario recently for some reason. I can't remember why. No, don't remember why. But it was something in my head like 2 weeks ago. You're welcome for that info. Completely unuseful to you. Completely unuseful to me, if we're being honest about it. 72nd minutes, Phillips says Intox. 68 minutes, Ben Johnson. That's probably also another strong shout. I know, right? I know, Gary. Wild to think about. Wild to think about, you know. It could have been so different. Could have been so different. John Connolly's gone with 55. Sharky's gone with 63rd. Phillips for Ward Prowse, surely. Yeah, that's sort of what was in the back of my mind as well, Jordan. I can't lie. 71st minute, Paketar for Mubama. 35th minute, Ogbono for Zuma injury. Very stressful idea. Very stressful idea. Although, again, not unrealistic, if we're being honest about it. Not being, you know. Just as what it is. Bithal is going for 68 minutes. Phillips on 55 minutes says Liverpool, the club. 75 minutes says Sean. Hi, guy. Alex, if you haven't subscribed to Times Podcast, what are you doing out here? Also, those pictures, bro, big. I completely forgot to reply to him. I saw him. I went, oh, big. And then I meant to reply to you. First of all, the first thing I was going to say, which I'll say publicly here, the rest of it I'll leave to the DMs, but I was going to say publicly here, the jumper game, very strong. Very strong jumper game, you know what I mean? If I had those pictures, I'd look like a schlub. You were here looking fresh, looking sharp. The jumper was on point. It was big. Actually, how are you? Miss you every day. Hope you're right. 3 minutes to go. We're still 6 minutes away. 57 minutes. Johnson from Panos. Bloody hell. Hang on a second. We'll get there. Darren Savey for Lazio. That is the West Ham team, to be fair, is Lazio. I'm Roma through, but I understand why. Antonio Phillips for Kudus and James Ward-Prowse. 68 minutes. Johnson. £35 from Chuck. Thank you very much, sir. I've only just seen it scrolling through. It's probably been here a hot minute. £5 a goal while on holiday. 7 goals so far. A month to go. Welcome from Thailand. My G, how are you, sir? I hope you're well. I hope you're good. I hope you're enjoying your time off, enjoying the time away. The weather's probably significantly warmer than it is here, for example. But 35, very kind of you, sir. I've said this to you previously. You don't have to at all, but it's very, very kind of you. Geo Gonzo will be very excited about that. It obviously helps the channel out a huge amount. Oh, I can also say, Dave as well, ask Steve Punch the Game, see you at half time. Don't forget Patreon. Don't worry, I won't. Thank you very much, Dave. I will promote patreon.com/chat very, very soon. But yeah, thank you, Dave. Very kind of you, sir. See you at half time, of course. Enjoy the first half. Dave, an absolute legend as well. You know, ask Steve Punch the Game, just out here, they're bits all day, every day. You gotta respect it. We beat, I don't know, I'll be honest with you, if we beat Freiburg, wouldn't they balance out the coefficient thing? I actually genuinely, I struggle to keep track of that so often. So I just sort of leave it to the end of the season and we see what happens, because I never know. But I'm not sure. If anyone has the answer for Cram, feel free to lob it into the chat. With 7 minutes to go, it's close. I will go with, no, it was excellent. It was excellent stuff. You can't lie. Just completely madness. Just complete madness. 5th minute Pakata injury, stress. Just complete stress. While we run through the rest of these, let's do score prediction, shall we? We've spoken about both lineups. We've spoken about the subs bench. We've spoken about tactics. We've spoken about it from every single angle we can think about. No more flipping. No more flopping. No more sitting on the fence. It's time to lob those score predictions in, and we will lock them in. We'll lock them in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get in there. We'll lock those bad boys in, lob them in. I'm going to stick with my 2-1, I think. I'll stick with my 2-1. West Ham win. Don't know why. I've had it in my head. I spoke to James on E20 the other night. Said the same thing. And I'll say it again now. I think they'll score. I think we've got defensive frailties. I think we'll score. They'll score. But I believe in us. I believe in us to get the win this one. 8 minutes until kickoff. We're there. We'll be fine. We'll nail it. We will nail it. We will nail it. We've got a couple of minutes left. A couple of minutes. I've got to agree. You know. I'm thinking about that all conquering German side. Now, I'm not saying the turtleneck was necessary. I think any jumper would have done the job. But the Steve Jobs turtleneck did do the job for them. You know. Also, while you're down there, by the way, do like and subscribe. Helps us out a huge amount. Obviously, we've got tons of stuff coming up, including we'll be live straight after this game with our live match review, alongside tomorrow at lunchtime ish. Myself and Geo will be live for the debrief. We're not doing it in the morning, basically, because I have a doctor's appointment. So we'll be doing it at some time around about lunch. We don't know the exact time yet, but around about lunchtime, we'll be getting on board with that. So make sure to subscribe, because there's plenty more stuff to come leading into the game at the weekend against Burnley. And like the video, because it just helps us out a huge amount. Matt's going with a cheeky Desmond. Benji's going with a 1-1, 3-1, 2-1 West Ham. Of course. Would never even dream against it, sir. Would never even dream against it. If you haven't checked out Dean's mix already, then God, what's the point of even having an X account if you aren't getting on board with that when the tweet goes live, you know? Or I don't know. Did you follow or subscribe on Mixcloud? I don't know what the verb is for Mixcloud. 3-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. Add team as I thought. No worries here. Comfy 3-1, 3-1. Kudus to score 2. Ward-Prowse free kick finally would be unreal, Lou. Would be unreal. When that finally happens, it's going to be big. 2-1, says Mark. 8-7, says Alex. 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 2-0, 3-1. I know. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. I clicked onto it. I was expecting to see the boys. What am I seeing? Steve Sidwell or Michael Owen? Name a bigger downgrade. I'll wait. Lou saying 3-1. Kudus scores 2. Ward-Prowse free kick. I think I just read that one, didn't I? I'm mad. For the Crony Cry Babies. Sharky, thank you very much for the £3. I need to put everyone's names in the top corner in a second. But thank you very much, sir. I am very much one of the Crony Cry Babies. So I'll be gladly taking ownership of that. 3-1, 2-1. Iron Zuma through ball for Freiburg. Stress. 2-2, 2-0, 0-0, 2-0 twice. So it's a strong predictions tonight. Lots of confidence. I'm here for it. Virgin Media and Ireland. If you are watching the game somewhere else in the world, let us know what channel it's on so the people can know. FPB. Sir. Good to see you. It's, of course, 3 minutes before the game, which means it's time to promote. Patreon.com/HammersChat, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderful thing. It helps out the channel a massive amount and allows us to work to the levels we do, to be honest with you. You know, we put out a lot of videos. We try to do as much as we can. And the only way we can do that is via Patreon. And not only that, not only do you get the one-a-day video, at least on the main channel and on the forum channel, but there's a whole slew of additional videos over on the Patreon, including the Patreon podcast that Gonzo does, the player ratings, which will be live at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Geo Gonzo will be running through tonight's game player ratings-wise, talking it through. We have the morning show before the games. We have Hammerlytics, which is myself and Jack Elderton and Cal Goodall from Analytics United, breaking down the games from sort of tactical perspectives, statistical perspectives, trying to sort of break it down in that manner, and a whole bunch more, including giveaways. There's a group chat. There's loads of different features on there. Make sure to check it out. Patreon.com/HammersChat. Link in the description below. Jetix, what, like the old Cartoon Network thing? Is that what Jetix was? I never had it. I just saw it at my friends' houses. My favourite one was when he said he just didn't like films. He'd watched like 8. And he was like, yeah, just not keen. Just a wild perspective even. I could say the words if I tried. 1-1, 2-0. 3-2 Suchek last minute banger. 1-1 take it back to London for the win. I'll be here for that. To be fair, I'll take it. If you said to me now, would you take a draw going back? Yes. If we fight and we perform well, then I'm here for it. 3-1 says Kicks. So I'm going to pronounce it. Paramount Plus in the US. Portugal streaming on his goal. Very much so, okay? Very much. Watching a league on Total Sport, okay? You'll have to see it. Yeah, Paramount Plus. Stan in Australia apparently says Active Tone Creations. Never heard of Stan. Shark has gone with a 2-1. If Kudus scores early, this could get lively. He is chomping at the bit. 2-0. Yeah, I'm waiting. He's gonna at some point. It's just gonna if he keeps up the performance levels he's going to at some point he's gonna have just a mad game where he scores like 2 or 3, and I'm hyped for that because it will happen eventually. Only reason I've got Paramount Plus, so I'm sick of their Star Trek reboots. Yeah, I mean I can't lie. It's pretty much the only reason I've got Discovery Plus in the UK, that and the wrestling. And at some point the wrestling's gonna move to Netflix. So at that point, and West Ham won't be in Europe. So at that point, I'm out of here. Not fast, otherwise. Not fast. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the lineups. We're going to be getting underway in just a few moments' time. As TSP says, like the video if you haven't already. It helps us out a huge amount. Thank you very much, TSP. Appreciate it, Bobby. Appreciate it. We will be live, of course, throughout the entire game up until halftime. Geo will then rejoin the stream, give you some actual smart breakdown knowledge, not the nonsense that I'm going to be spewing. And then second half, we'll be live again all the way through right here on this very stream on Ham's Chat before, of course, the live match review. So stick around because we have it all to come. But we're about to kick off away in Freiburg. It's West Ham United versus Freiburg in Germany. First time our fans got to travel. Of course, they were banned the first time round after the incidents at the final. I will have a time in the top corner. It says exactly how far behind you I will be because it'll be just ever so slightly because I'm watching on the Discovery Plus, which means it's like a minute behind plus, you know, little glitch links here and there. Probably YouTube. But there we go. Come on, you Lions. Deploy the boys. It's time to run 2 things, ladies and gentlemen. Big. A result here would be incredible. We've come into form at the right time. Freiburg not in beautiful form themselves. I think I've only won 1 or 2 in their last 6 or something. Lost quite a few, drawn a couple. I think it's only 1-1 or something like that. I don't know exactly which way around it is. But form-wise, it's right for us. It's a good opportunity from Freiburg really early on, and Sufal does brilliantly to come across. Jesus Christ, they almost scored straight away. Played it fast down the right-hand side, and the pullback felt like it was destined for a shot just outside the 6-yard box centrally for Salah, and thankfully, a beautiful slide from Sufal gets the block, and within a minute, Freiburg have a corner, but it was a really strong opportunity, Here comes the corner. Deploy the Euro, boys. That's what I'm saying. Come on, Jeff. Come on. Whipped in. Emerson gets the header. Kudus hooks it away. No goal in the opening minute. We're fine. Just need to make sure we stick to our guns here. Talking about the atmosphere currently on the stream as Freiburg are passing it around at the back. We're not daring to press too much. Jarrod Bowen thinking about it. The trigger press every time they sort of go to a centre-back. Jarrod Bowen begins pressing. James Ward-Prowse backing him up. Lucas Paquetá sort of alongside it as well. We forced them into a position they don't look super comfortable. And Jarrod Bowen slowly being dragged across, forcing Freiburg to have a little bit of space, and thankfully just a tiny little press there, not just reducing their passing options. They're really uncomfortable doing it, and their goalkeeper completely slices his long ball, and it's going to be thrown into West Ham in the right hand corner quadrant. Vladimir Sufal to take. Launches it in. Souček gets the chest down. Zuma was there. They come away with the ball. It is with Doan. He loses out on it. It's going to be a West Ham throw. Love that. Yeah, I'm here for it, Graham. I'm 100% here for it. Sufal, listen, during that run where we were poor, I felt like he was missing. I felt like it wasn't the vibe, wasn't strong enough. I felt like it wasn't happening. In the last 2 games, he's had the renaissance. We've been playing better. I'm here for it. I want that Sufal with the bit in his teeth again. That's what we need. That's what's necessary. I did promote the Patreon. I did. Thankfully, I did do it. I remembered 3 minutes, patreon.com/HammerChat. We spoke about it. My mentor, Mr. Pardew, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Whipped in from Kudus. Oh, they've managed to keep that. It's going to be a corner to us. I thought they managed to keep it in. There we go. We've got a corner. Strong start. Grande, good to see you, by the way, Mr. Pardew, my mentor, of course. It's good to see you back. I felt like we need that sort of the technical knowledge, you know, the history in the game. Always a necessity, in my opinion. Always a necessity. Elbows out, exactly. That's what we're talking about. We want them. We want a bit of that, you know. We want a bit of that. Corner to West Ham. From the right-hand side, it's going to be a James Ward-Prowse outswinger. Whipped in. Over the top of everyone, Souček went down, but it's going to be a free kick. It's going to be a free kick to Freiburg. Souček went down. I don't really know what happened, but yeah. Interesting that we've gone back to James Ward-Prowse hitting the outswingers. We, of course, scored in the last game. From that side, we had... okay, Souček, yeah, it was just a bundling over of his player. 2 players go down. It's an easy free kick. But from that side specifically, instead of James Ward-Prowse hitting the outswinger, we had Bowen hitting an in-swinger with James Ward-Prowse sort of standing short just in case. It's interesting that we've gone back to it. We'll see how it plays out over the course of the match, because I did actually thought our corners were better in the last game, so we'll see. Oh, of course, and Mr. Pardew's dance moves as well, of course. Always a miss, always a miss. Slylican trying to whip that ball in. Connected with the head of Mavropanos. It wasn't really headed or headed away. Bounces around. They still maintain possession of the ball. Just outside the area on the left-hand side, looking for a deep cross in. Mavropanos once again getting his head on that. Doan's the one who picks the ball up away from it. Wide on the right-hand side. It gets played back and whipped into the box again, headed away once more from Mavropanos. I tell you what, if this is going to be indicative of the rest of the game, it's going to be a long evening. But with Mavropanos and Zuma in there, I feel quite confident of us winning those sort of duels. You know, they've been doing a good job with that stuff. It's when it's on the floor, they're a bit suspect. You know, it's when they're playing towards Zuma, or when for some reason Mavropanos has this thing where he likes just passing it to them for some weird reason. But in the air, in those scenarios, I'm confident with those boys. And with Alvarez involved, with Souček involved around in the area as well. You know, I'm more than happy for them to cross like this extensively. We've got big boys, big men. And it's going to happen. They're passing it around at the back. Jarburn just forcing them back to the goalkeeper at the moment. Freiburg trying to work their way forward. Down the left-hand side before being cancelled out by Sufal. Nice little press, forces them all the way back to the goalkeeper. They're passing it around, but they're not really looking super comfortable or dynamic while they're doing it. This is the first time getting a little bit of movement going. Poor ball over the top, and the fullback's going to sprint for it. And manages to stop it going out for a goal kick. It's at least going to be a throw-in, which he's done well to get there, but the ball over the top was poor. Well, you're not wrong. Yeah, to be fair, you're not wrong. I just have confidence in the balls into the box for the heads. For the heads, I'm confident. Having said that, literally, that's how Everton scored the weekend. I appreciate that, but I'm confident with that. Or more confident than I am with them running at them with the ball, if you know what I mean. Marty says, when we cannot beat them 2-0 with our strongest team, we would have problems in the home leg when 3-0 for us. First half, 4 subs. Big. It would be, it would be a wild series of events, Marty, if we're being honest. It would be an insane series of events. Yeah, I'm happy for us to grow into the game, you know. Like, don't get me wrong. I love us coming flying out the gates and doing stuff like we have done against Brentford, for example. But I'm fine with us growing into the game. We just need to stay tight, because right now, look, they're having a lot of the ball. They're sort of creating some form of chances, but realistically, none of them are, apart from that first one, which Sufal did brilliantly for, and that wasn't like a high cross. That was sort of driven along the box, which is the thing I'm afraid of. The rest of them have been all high. Yeah, it's not that deep. It's not that deep for now. There are bells available, Jeff. If we feel like we need them, necessarily, they are there. Don't remember how many we've got, but they are there. You know, they worked last time. The haters will say it's a coincidence. I would say to the haters, evidence suggests not, my friend. I go with the evidence. I don't know. He's like 6'8", My gut says 6'4", but I might be wrong about that. He is big though. He is big, and he's big is what he's built. Salah looking for the ball backwards. Again, we've sort of got a lot of men back right now as Freiburg are just playing the ball around with no real intent. Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of the things they set up were really good. Like, it wasn't like perfect. It wasn't like perfection or anything, but it felt like like old Dynamites. There was always so much going on, and it was always setting up stuff, and you could sort of see the pieces being moved into place, and it felt a lot like that. You have like the stuff going on with the stuff that the Young Buck segment. I don't want to say in case people don't want it spoiled, right? But the Young Buck segment, what that potentially sets up for the future is unbelievably exciting. You've got the stuff with what Swerve is doing at the moment is very, very exciting. There's just a lot going on right now. All of which I'm very here for. He's just massive. He's just absolutely massive. Is that true? I feel like someone told me this, and I also feel like I forgot because I didn't know that. But I feel like in the back of my mind, maybe I did. It's something Cal from Analytics United might have told me. It's the sort of thing I would have heard Cal say. I don't know. Wild. That is actually quite wild, to be fair. That's building a club. I am. I am very much looking forward to it, to be fair. It's going to be a very. It's building up to be a great couple of shows right now. Not scared for how long it will be, but maybe I will have to see about that. But Paquetá taken down. He thinks it's a foul. I thought there was a chance of it, but it wasn't as obvious as humanly possible. They whip it out, they put it back out wide. Freiburg looking again. We're just forcing them into those wide positions. They're more than happy to cut them up as well. Don't get me wrong, it's not all our defending. They're looking for those wide positions fairly frequently. But that's fine. It's sort of, we're looking very comfortable with it. They tried to chop outside, and Kudus is the one who gets the touch. It's gonna be a throw into Freiburg. Big hoof into the box. Emerson gets his head onto it ahead of. I wouldn't usually trust Emerson on the head, but ahead of Doan. Oh, Paquetá, so good, man. Just holding off his man for ages, just to allow Emerson to get into space. A poor pass off the back of it from Paquetá, but a bit before where he's just holding off two men, just pushing back, drags a third one in to try and nip the ball away from him, and then he can just play it into the space where Emerson can get forward. It's that kind of stuff that we miss massively when he's not around. Doan cuts inside, looking for that long range. He's looking for that Shaqiri shot, cutting in from the right hand side, looking to hit it with his left foot, powerfully blocked off the line. Loving the trick glove, I can't lie. Loving the trick glove. Yeah, a couple, not too much. We've been sort of just like taking it. It's like James described as looking nervous. I personally wouldn't say nervous. I think we're just allowing ourselves to go into the game. We've come out, we've set up our stall, as it were, and then we can go forward from there. It's not too. I wouldn't describe it as nerves. It's maybe a bit hesitant, maybe a bit conservative in the opening stages. Which away in Europe, not necessarily a bad thing. I've just watched Roma absolutely smash Brighton 4-0, So I'm okay with it being a conservative start, and then we slowly sort of work our way into the game. Jared Bowen does really well there. He's pulled back. That's a free kick. We're going to have to be aware of these sort of professional fouls because they might come. They seem to be coming not thick and fast, but every time we sort of get a chance to break away, there is definitely one coming in. Like there, just a big tug of the shirt from the number 5 from Gulde. From Freiburg, one of the Freiburg centre-backs on Jared Bowen, who spun really nicely on the halfway line, was about to get away. Pardon me. Martin, good to see you, sir. Hope you're well. Judas, my trustworthy friend as well. Hope you're good, bro. Hope you're good. DJ's 3-1 off fantasy. Yeah, I'm sticking with my 2-1, but I'm feeling relatively confident right now. The way it started, I'm feeling relatively confident. Ball over the top. Souček looking to get in there. Tell you what, it's well defended. It's gonna be a foul against Thomas Souček there for battling for it, but it's well defended there. Souček just gets a bit caught up in the moment, drags his man down. Deep run, battles for it, ends up pulling the man down. Who's going to go down? I think there's definitely going to be some of those dark arts from Freiburg this evening. It's going to be a frustrating game for us. Rangers have gone 1-0 up against Benfica. Love that from them. Oh, nice little layoff there from Paquetá. First time it's James Ward-Prowse, who gets dispossessed very well, but I love the layoff. I appreciate it, Martin. I appreciate it. Listen, good luck at work later, bro. Good luck at work. Hope it goes all right. Yeah, Brighton lost 4-0 to Roma. They were honestly, just pulling them apart at one point. There was like a 10-minute period, and it's from the 60th to the 70th. They scored twice, and it was just every time Roma went forward, it looked like they were about to score, and just Brighton just could not deal with it in any way, shape, or form. James Ward-Prowse lays it back to Emerson. He's got Paquetá short. Decides to try and dink it over the top for Bowen. Finds Paquetá then. Back to Bowen. Nice little play. He needs an option, but he's instead decided to take on his man, which is nice to see. He's got Kudus arriving in the area. He's going to try and drive it. Goal. It was maybe a bit of a wasted opportunity there from Jared Bowen. He didn't really seem like he had confidence. He had the pace to take on his man. He was sort of defending well, keeping the direction well, showing him further down the line. And I felt like maybe Bowen could have gone for the burst of pace, maybe try to go inwards, but potentially the smarter option would have been going to the byline and then pulling it back for Kudus, who was arriving late, but doesn't work out. I wouldn't blame you. I would not blame you. I can't lie to you. Artel, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, I was saying I do not want us to draw Roma. As much as again, watching West Ham play Roma in competitive football is like a dream of mine. Like, that Roma team would give us all sorts of problems. It's classic Jose nonsense, isn't it? Happy Funster, you know what I mean? Goes to a club for 3 years, does really well, makes them a strong side, absolutely capitulates in the third. It's just the way it goes. There's nothing more consistent in football than Jose Mourinho. Won a trophy for them, did really well, absolutely capitulated in the third season. See you later. Alvarez just coming forward with the ball. We're getting a bit more possession now, getting a bit further forward, gaining those yards, as it were, but certainly getting a bit more possession now. Freiburg dropping off a little bit. Kudus. Back to Sufal. Fabianski, so Zuma just passing it around at the back, but you can see the drop off from Freiburg at this point. The referee blows his whistle up for a foul. There's going to be a lot of fouls, it feels like. The referee blowing up for quite a lot so far. I mean, let me put it this way. Collingwood, let me put it this way. I would prefer for that not to happen. John, good to see. There are bells, Stephen. If we find it necessary, there are bells. The Mourinho meltdown? Yeah. There we go. It happens every single time. Bop. Easy as you like. Freiburg passing it around at the moment, trying to find their way in. They've once again got their people forward. Just kind of what we want, and they go for a long shot. The thing is, we'll take a long shot like that because it's never going in, right? It's not Cody Gakpo on the ball. It's fine. We can take these long shots. Have as many of them as you like. They're not going to go in. My problem is when it happens, it does just give them the time to reset, get deep. Whereas we really want to be finding those quick counters, which we just won't be able to do if it goes out for a goal kick like that. We're going to naturally take a long time to try and reset. We take him short like we just did, tries to force us into it. I tell you what, Fabianski's long kicking so much better than Areola's accurately as well. And we managed to get the ball forward. Jared Bowen on the right, looking for that first time pass through to Kudus. The idea was nice. Doesn't work out, but we maintain possession of the ball. Wide with Kudus on the right-hand side. Tries to cut inside. Looking for the cross. He slips as he does it. But I'll tell you what, Paquetá was there. Souček, importantly, was lurking at that back stick. You could see the idea. Freiburg are going to come away with the ball, working it down the right-hand side. Salai is on the ball. But the inside pass is poor. Thomas Souček with the interception. Turns and then lays it short to Alvarez. Takes it past his man nicely. Listen. There are many better. I would say, I would go as far as to say you should watch all of them, you know? Subscribe is free. Get around, have a look at who you're vibing with the most, because they all do great work in their own separate ways, you know. Cheers, Sean. Appreciate it, bro. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Good luck with work. Hope it's not too stressful. Exactly. Do they have the bells? I would say no. I would say they don't. I would be shocked if you went over to Freiburg chat and he was saying in German, "Should we bell boys? What's the opinion on Angelica Bell?" Do you know what I mean? I don't think it would happen. Gonna sneeze? It's gone. It's gone. We're fine. It's gone. I need to put everyone's names in the top corner. I completely forgot to do that. I'll do that now. West Ham passing the ball around on the halfway line. Freiburg win the ball back. Very bitty, this game so far. In the midfield right now, just going back and forth, possession. No one really managing to get out of that area. Souček has a nice ball across to Vladimir Sufal. Runs onto it. Could have put a long shot. Goes ballooning high and wide. Names in the top corner now. Thank you very much, Chuck, Dave, Acid Punch Drop Game, of course, and Sharky. Massively appreciate you all. Massively appreciate you all. Listen, it's a Kudus long shot. It's what we expect. It's gone high and wide. It's gone high and wide. But we move. It's gone high and wide. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Gonzo swims it. He does. He does swim it. Going for a big boot. Freiburg from the goal kick. The nod on lands directly at the feet of Zuma, whose clearance is awkward, but effective at least. Doan looking to try and cut inside. And dink it. Failure. They still have the ball off the block. Freiburg looking for the cross in. Header way, way over. Would have taken an insane header from that sort of range and from that sort of backwards position to get it anywhere, even on target. Even on target. A tentative start to the game from us. Thomas Souček just giving Fabianski some instructions while Jared Bowen stops to get his shoe back on from a goal kick. A tentative start from us so far. So Claude, good to see you. You give me an excuse to talk about it. As does Monkey Harris. Good to see you as well. Working from home. Love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, a tentative start. We've been very conservative in the way we've played. We've sat deep a lot, just sort of I think more analysing, you know, they say boxing, like downloading data or whatever they say, when the guy, you sort of first couple rounds watching how the guy moves, watching how he plays. It does feel a little bit like we're sort of doing that. There's a tentativeness to us. We seem like we're sort of just waiting to see what they're going to do. And right now, it feels like they're not really going to do anything. They find the ball out wide pretty frequently. They end up crossing the ball in high. None of that is really looking dangerous. They had one dangerous looking chance within the first minute that Sufal did brilliantly to get in front of and get the block. Outside of that, I think we've looked the more dangerous team, even though we've had significantly less of the possession. They've had a lot of the ball and done really nothing of note with it, whereas we've been just that ever so slightly better. But even then, I wouldn't say we're firing on all cylinders or anything like that. You can see the sprouts of what could be a dangerous counter-attack for us, whereas right now I'm not really seeing anything of note from them, if that makes sense. They are on the ball once again here, working it down the right-hand side, looking for that early cross once more. Doen comes to try and take it short, instead play it inwards. There comes the cross, and it's just a huge boot into the box, and an easy catch for Fabianski. Just the cross was completely inaccurate. Ricardo from Brazil. Obrigado, my friend. How are you? Hope you're well. I think obrigado means hello. I hope I didn't just say something horrendous to you, Ricardo. Though. I apologise. Non-parley through Portuguese, you know. Ooh, nice little flick ball there from Paquetá, back heel into the path of Emerson. Thomas Souček under a little bit of pressure, tries to flick it, tries to just pass it forward, doesn't quite manage it, goes down. He's back up now as they're looking for the counter-attack. Good block there. Good block there from Sufal. Having a decent game so far, Sufal. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of true. And I think if we could get that again today, that would be beautiful. We just have a game where we can stay calm, get a win, confidence building win, not stress about it too much, and then sort of look at the attentions towards Burnley. I don't anticipate that being the case, but if it is, that would be beautiful. That would be utterly beautiful. Thank you, Irons J. I mean, I know it's an incredibly low bar to cross, but I'm taking it as a compliment. Thank you, Irons J. Appreciate it. James Ward-Prowse into the path of Bowen. Out wide to Kudus. Currently looking... There we go. Nice. They changed the camera angle for us. Thank you, because I was just looking at a promo for Manchester United versus Everton and not where the ball was. Paquetá trying and besting two men. He went down, I mean, the referee doesn't wave play on, but it felt like that was the case. We've lost the ball out. Freiburg, this is where they could be dangerous, and thankfully, again, just goes wanting. Those counter-attacking opportunities are where they're going to be able to try and cause damage. That's where they want to do it. When they win the ball back, they've just got to be faster from it. When it's a goal kick, they're not going to be able to be fast enough. A bit like I was saying with us, the reverse is true. It's when they win the ball back, when they get the turnover in the midfield or further up the pitch, they want to be really going fast. And that one, they try to play it across, pull the ball back across to Grifo again. Doing a pull across, a pull back as opposed to a chip or a cross is definitely more beneficial, but realistically it goes wanting again. I mean, Freiburg are looking... This is a better team would have taken some chances, would have tried to do something a bit more now. Whereas right now, I'm not finding this too scary from a West Ham perspective. I'll be honest with you, I'm just not finding it that scary at all. Nice passing from Alvarez to Paquetá. Recycling possession around right now. James Ward-Prowse taking up position a little bit deeper. Trying to get the ball going a bit. So foul, nice ball in towards Jarrod Bowen down the line. Looking to try to create a bit of space. Fullback does well. Jarrod Bowen's not having a good game today. I'll say that much. He had that initial spin-off. Nicely won back from Paquetá. Oh, this is great play. Very nicely done. Paquetá tried to flick it through that last time. Tell you what, he's done absolutely brilliant. Bowen could have... Oh, close. Close. But really nicely done. Bowen not having a great game. He did that spin on the halfway line. He did that, ended up getting pulled back because the referee guy just pulled his shirt. Well, that's a nice ball from Paquetá. I think a little bit over hit. It's probably gone out. Yeah, went out for a goal kick. Nicely tried there. But apart from that, he's not having an incredible game, Bowen, so far. He's struggling to get the engine going. Lots of, I don't know, there just seems to be a tentativeness to the way he's trying to take on his man. He's facing up to his defenders 1v1 and taking a lot of tiny touches, but not ever explosively moving or creating something from it. It's just a lot of tentative, like eking towards them and then losing out on the ball. I think, don't get me wrong, I think the Freiburg defenders are defending well against him, but I do think there's notably just something missing from his game so far. I'm not sure what it is. He's a brilliant player. Like Paquetá is so good in so many ways, you know. Like there's so many beneficial things about the way he plays. Like for us, it's just insane. It's just insane. He kind of plays football a little bit like netball as well. He'll pick up the ball and sort of stand still, and then the rest of the game will be affected around him just by the sheer fact he's on the ball, and then we'll play a really nice pass that will just completely rip a team apart. He's so good at it. He's so good at it. Paul, good to see you, sir. Hope Texas is treating you well. Freiburg passing the ball around at the moment. Ball over top. It's a good opportunity for Freiburg, and a shot comes in directly at Fabianski. Again, it's those moments where they can press the speed button, turn up the gas a little bit. That's where it looks dangerous, and it's failed for them once again. And now Kudus on the ball, wide on the right-hand side. They're not quite in good positions right now, but they're getting there. He's slowed down too much. Think across, Jared Bowen hits it. Completely mishits it. That was a really good chance. Right up the other end, we go flying forwards. It felt like Kudus had just wasted the opportunity, slowed down a little bit. Freiburg, when he initially had the ball, were at 6s and 7s. The defence wasn't really there. And then he just stops, and then the dink over the top to Jared Bowen was beautifully done. So nice to find the space for Bowen, and he just doesn't get connection with the ball anywhere near to what he wants to. And it's wasted, a hugely wasted opportunity. A good opportunity from Freiburg up the other end, by the way. And again, it's when they get those opportunities to turn the pace up a little bit, to just put the gas on just a tad. Couple of little quick passes through the middle. It was what Everton were doing quite well against us. It's that you have to counter-attack faster against us. You just have to. You can't not do it, because otherwise we're just going to sit deep like we are right now. They're in a position where they're looking to try and cross. We've got loads of men back. You're not going to be able to get past us. Doan looking for trying to shoot from range, block from Souček, nicely done. These positions that we're in right now, we're sat deep, you know, we're in the position we want to be in. It makes us very, very difficult to break down. That's a nice pass through to Doan. Souček gets the header. It's going to be a corner. It just makes it really difficult for a team to break us down. It's those moments where you just go, right, bang, speed. That's when it's strong against us. I found me saying it. Look, we've been doing this for years. Right? These watch-alongs, and I've been saying it consistently. They need to attack faster against us. When that happens, scary. Their good chances today have come directly from that. Everything else, nah. Whipped in from the corner, headed away easily from Sufal. Hook back across, goes out for a goal kick to us. Thank you very much. I'll be honest with you, I don't think we are, because I don't think they look that good right now. Like this is one of those things that will 100% come back to bite me. I don't think they look that good. Like, they just have the ball. But it's not like they're doing anything particularly with it. Like, they've had two good opportunities where they got in easier than they should because they just went a little bit faster. But the vast majority of the time, I mean, let's say they've got what 80% possession of the ball. I don't know what it was. It was 80% earlier, right? They're probably at 70 something right now. Maybe a little bit less. Probably in the low 70s, high 60s, right? 33 minutes into the game. That means realistically they've had the ball for what you're talking. Oh, Doan does really well there, and it's hooked away. Oh, the referee tells him to get up. I'll tell you what, I disagree with the referee there. I think that should have been a foul for Freiburg in a good position. Oh, maybe the referee... Oh, no, the referee... Tell you what, fair play. The referee got it bang on. I thought that was a free kick. I thought that was quite clearly a free kick, but the referee picked that out beautifully. For a situation, I thought the referee's been very bitty today. Every small thing he sort of seems to have pulled up, and I was shocked he didn't pull that one up. Fair play to him. He got that bang on. He dived. Fair play. Fair play. Like, as I was saying, right, 34 minutes into the game right now, let's say they have 65% possession of the ball. That means they've had possession for what? I don't know what the number would be exactly, but you're talking somewhere in the 20-minute period. They've not done anything with it. Like, really? They've had, what, 2 decent opportunities the entire time? The rest of the time has been stuff like that, where they take a shot from range, which is never happening. They work it out wide. They cross it in, which is never happening. I don't think we're making them look good. I just don't think I just don't think they're that dangerous right now. I think we've nullified them relatively well. It's just about we haven't been able to get the other side of our game correct. You'd suspect so, wouldn't you? Ronda and Tony, you would suspect so. I'm surprised he didn't get one. Maybe it's because it's early in the game. I don't know, but I'm surprised not. Oh, I thought that was beautiful there. Alvarez seems to have won the ball in an advanced position, but doesn't quite work out. Slavia have gone 1-0 down to AC Milan away. Yeah, they go down quite easily. There's going to be a lot, like I said, there's going to be a lot of this from Freiburg. So far in the game, they've been very dark artsy, is how I would describe it. Very dark artsy. That's where I'm at. Like, they've had 2 decent chances, but I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I can get worse. I can get worse. Have you ever had Japanese players? Good question, Bazzer. I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't remember one. I like Doan a lot. He's just dived there, but I do like him a lot as a player. Mavropanos looked to try and play it forward. It was big, but it was accurate, but it just was tentative, and they win the ball back. Again, those long balls to Jared Bowen are rarely going to pay off because he's just not going to win his duels, right? Cross in. Oh, Slavia have got one back. Let's go, Slavia. Slavia went 1-0 down, and then just as quick, they went flipping 1-1. You love to see it. I think Sparta was getting... Did Sparta play Liverpool and got beat 5-1 or something earlier? I think it was. Can't remember. I think they just said their centre forward has never scored a European goal. Stress, which is the guy who fluffed the chance earlier. I think that's what they just said. I think that's what the commentator said. I'm not entirely certain. Shout out Beto, you know what I mean? Oh, that's not bad. Thankfully, Mavropanos is there, and Kurt Zouma ends up hooking it away. That was better for Freiburg. That was better. Managing to work their way into the centre. One touch passing, laying it off. Quick touch there was a nice idea. Mavropanos sticks up to it well. And then Zouma sort of falls over as he gets it away. But that was better. That was better. Whipped in from the corner. Does not beat the first man. Pardon me. And it's going to be a goal kick. Thank you very much. Awfully done from Zouma. Loses out on the ball in a horrendous position. Thankfully, Alvarez is there to bail him out because that was god awful. What the hell is he doing? We've gone almost up the other end of the pitch with it. Jared Bowen loses out, but that was, what are you doing, Zuma? What are you doing, bruv? Just neither of them. I think Bowen's a better, in my opinion, right? I would say Bowen is a better choice to play up front than Kudus is, but that neither of them are strikers. Let's be real about it. It's just it's like who are we playing there to like bide us over while we figure out that striker position. Neither of them are long-term options. It just happens to be what's going on at the moment. I like Jared Bowen a lot. I think he does an okay job there, but he's not a striker. I like Kudus a lot, and I think by playing him in that forward position, you lose a lot of what he's good at. That ability to pick up the ball on the half turn and start charging forward with it, you completely lose that, you know. So I personally wouldn't want to see him in that position. I don't think either of them would do well holding up the ball or winning their duels. Alvarez goes down. That's a free kick toss on the halfway line. It's got to be yellow card, surely. Yeah, there is a yellow card at this point. First one in the game for Freiburg. First one in the game for Freiburg makes sense. Again, it's just I mean, nowhere near the ball. Not even trying to go for it, if we're being honest about it. And again, like I say, dark arts in full effect. Every time we've gone to try and counter-attack. Look, let's be real. Freiburg know what we want to do, right? Freiburg know that we're going to sit, we're going to hold it, and then we're going to try and hit them on the counter-attack. And every time we've gone to try and break away on that counter-attack, it's not entirely shocking that one of their players has gone flying into one of ours to stop it from happening. It's what it is, you know. It's the way that they are going to play against us. They know what we want to do. It's the way they're going to try and stop us. Instead of trying to stop us play from some sort of tactical switch or whatever, they're just going to physically try and do it, which is fair enough. It's a way of doing it, right? That's the first yellow card. I suspect there's going to be more to come from them because, to be honest, it's been frequent. It's been frequent. Bulford try to lay it down there. Paquetá can't make it work. Freiburg going to come away with it. I disagree with them, Brandon. We weren't horrific in the Everton game. The other games before then, I barely remember, if I'm being honest with you. Like it's gone in my head at this point. Like form form wise, we were just awful during that period. Everton, we weren't bad. Do I think they deserve to lose? No, I don't. But I don't think we were horrific or bad. That's not a defense, by the way. It's just a rebuttal. Bowen does well. Ball across isn't very good. Is Emerson there to pick it up? No one's there to pick it up. No one's in that area. I don't know where Emerson was. Throw into Freiburg. Deep inside their own half on the right-hand side. What gets James Ward-Prowse picked every game? Set pieces, and I think genuinely in the number 10 position he is decent. I think our strongest 11 of players we have right now includes James Ward-Prowse at the number 10. In an ideal world, you would look for someone better who can do the stuff at number 10 in a better position, but we would also need another sort of set piece taker somewhere else in the squad because James Ward-Prowse, under David Moyes specifically, James Ward-Prowse I don't think fits anywhere apart from in the number 10 position. And I think in the 10 position he does a fairly good job, but outside of that, I don't think he can play anywhere really under Moyes. Marseille 3-0 up against Villarreal. Oh, nice little spin flick there from Paquetá, who's been given that free roll. Tried to play it over the top towards James Ward-Prowse. Doesn't quite work. It's going to be, I think, a handball against Paquetá. Yeah, I sort of agree. I sort of agree with you, UAP. I think the game plan is working. We'll see how it ends up playing out in the second half. But it is working relatively so far, if we're being honest about it. I'm not particularly scared of what they're doing. They don't look particularly dangerous. But The problem is game plan wise. I think maybe I should rephrase that. The game plan is working. The attacking side of our game plan, I don't think is yet. There are times where it was. Now, I just Bowen's not playing very well. We're struggling a little bit to create anything in the final third. That side of it, I don't think is working. But the defensive side, working a treat. The game plan is fully in effect. Paquetá lays it short to James Ward-Prowse, who again is sort of drifting around to try and get involved in the game a little bit now. We're not really having those opportunities to press like we have done earlier. Jarrod Bowen is having a stinker. Ball just got played into him, relatively simple to his feet, and he loses out on the ball really simply. I'm not enjoying Jarrod Bowen's performance at all today. I've got to be honest with you. Doan does well to take it past Alvarez. Alvarez does well to recover and get his foot on the ball and stop him from going forward. Eggstein looking to play it in, wins it back on the edge of the area, back out to Doan in that right corner quadrant, whips it in with his strong foot, headed away from Vladimir Sufal. Could have looked to try and clear it, but I'll tell you what, the player went flying into that to collect it. I think it was Grifo, does well. Freiburg trying to play the ball around. I don't like the positioning right now. Paquetá has taken up the 10 position and James Ward-Prowse has taken up this left-hand side position. I'm hoping this isn't some sort of swap because I don't really like it right now, but they've been that way for a couple of minutes now. And I'm hoping it's just a temporary sort of positional covering thing as opposed to a permanent change. Lucas Paquetá is sort of drifting into that space to win some space. 0 minutes of added time gets played. Whistle goes. Half time. Half time. Yeah. I don't know. How do I word that? Look, not scared at all, if I'm being honest about it. I think the game plan is working. I just think offensively there's a lot more to us than we're showing right now. I'm not sure how much more to Freiburg's game there is than what we've seen. They've obviously had a lot of possession because we've allowed them to have a lot of possession. They've obviously created a lot of crossing opportunities because we've allowed them to create a lot of crossing opportunities. And actually, all the crosses we've dealt with fairly comfortably. It's those times where they've managed to speed it up a little bit, go up a gear, shift it, go back, where they've created something. And they've done that notably twice and completely and utterly fluffed both of their chances to do that. Listen, and it's not like we're lucky they didn't go in. If we're being honest about it, they just weren't very good. It's making for a dull game of football, one that TNT Sports are probably happy they put on the second channel as opposed to the first, because it's not exciting at all. But realistically, it is what it is. The game plan's working. Like I said, it felt like we came out to do what we're doing, and we're doing it relatively well, but the attacking side of our game is notably missing. And I feel like without that, we're going to struggle a little bit. Without that attacking side of our game, we're going to struggle to see, well, just anything, because I don't think we're in a situation, Geo, where we're going to... I don't think we're in a situation where we're going to luckily get one against them, because it just doesn't feel like that's going to come together. I'm not scared at all of what they're doing. They are, it's like, whatever, man, not fast. But that attacking side of the game is just notably missing for us. And I'm not sure, you see games where, like Everton's a good example, right? I didn't really feel like we were fully flowing attacking wise, but we got those opportunities and we made them count. It doesn't really feel like we're going to make them count, notably because I think Bowen's having a bit of a stinker. I don't know. How do you feel?
So. I think it's a very scrappy game. It's quite dull, which I think probably suits Moyes more than Strike. I think Moyes will be the happy manager at half-time. And if the game was to finish right now, I would suggest that we come out of it as a better side, not in terms of performance, in terms of we are now the favourites to go through because we're going back to London Stadium with 0-0 in our back pocket. I'm not impressed by what I've seen. I think there's one or two players concerning me. Kurt Zuma in particular is concerning me.
I know what you mean.
He seems to be conceding possession easily, and it feels like a mistake waiting to happen. I think Bowen, as you said, has been poor. I think Ward-Prowse is struggling a little bit. He's obviously moved over to the left to accommodate Paqueta, who was getting nothing out of any Freiburg player or the referee. And I think it was the right move to do to get Paqueta away from there because he was struggling to influence it. I think it was, Charlie, was struggling out on the left side. Every time he tried to hold the ball up, they were giving him little nudges and little tugs, and the ref wasn't giving him anything, which, by the way, I think is good refereeing.
Sure.
But I think taking Paqueta out of there is the right thing to do for him, not so much Ward-Prowse. It has killed anything that Emerson had to offer, though. I've not seen him since Paqueta moved over, bar scything someone down the halfway line there and getting away with it. But there's too many. There's no quality in our team tonight. Kudus isn't on it. Bowen's not on it. Paqueta's struggling to get into the game. It's frustrating, but it's 0-0, and Fabianski's had one routine save to make.
Yeah, I think I disagree with moving Paqueta there, mainly because I feel like, right, well, we're not going to get anything out of him because the 10 position is not really where much creativity goes. Like, you put James Ward-Prowse there, he does well at the pressing, but moving James Ward-Prowse wide to the left is just never, ever going to work out well for anyone, and it's also just making Emerson worse. So I think we're worse off as a team for it, even though I sort of understand. I agree with what you're saying, by the way. I think Paqueta wasn't getting anything on the left-hand side. I think he was... Look, they've come to play their game. They've come to play the dark arts. They've come to tactical foul. They know what we want to do. They know we want to sit deep and then counter attack with pace against them. And every time we've gone to try and do that, they've just gone, well, I'm just going to grab your shirt. I'm just going to clatter into you, all that sort of stuff. I don't see how moving Paqueta to the centre is really going to help him, and I see how it's going to negatively impact everyone else.
I think Bowen's movement's been good. What I will say. His execution and decision making has been poor, but the movement to peel away to the back post for that cross from Kudus, I think was an excellent thing to do. When he got it from Paqueta and he ran and his cross was overhit again, the movement was really good. So I think his movement's there. In a couple of our attacks he's been involved in, it's just in the 18-yarder. He's not composed tonight for some reason, but I've got that faith in Bowen where he can make 5 or 6 of them, and I'm confident he'll get the 7th one right. So I'm hoping that something lands to him in the second half. The one change I would like to see, Charlie, is putting Kudus over onto the left. The reason being, now I don't normally like it, but the reason being they're right backs on the booking now.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And Ward-Prowse ain't going to get at him, which is, not Ward-Prowse's bag anyway. So actually, I'd like to see Kudus get over there and maybe just have a real go at their right back, just for 10, 15 minutes to start the second half and just see if we can get anything out of him. Because the game is quite open. I do think, while it's a bit dull and it's cagey, it's on a knife's edge, I do think there's a lot of space out there at times for either team to exploit. Not always, but both teams are quite sloppy in possession. I think there's been quite quick turnovers of possession. So I do think there will be an opportunity or two to get the ball and get Kudus one-on-one with the left back, because I think he's struggling a little bit to get one-on-one with Gunter. And he's a good defender. He's behind Kudus at every opportunity, so Kudus can't turn and face the Freiburg goal. Both managers will probably be happy at half-time, although the fans might be wanting a bit more, and it is a bit boring. I think both managers will be pleased that they're not losing. The game's poised, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, and I agree with the Kudus thing. And actually, what I will say very quickly before I go, I've never liked Kudus on the left. Against Everton, it worked an absolute treat.
Yeah.
He was like, Godfrey was terrified of him and did not know what to do with him. You got a guy on a yellow card, just put Kudus up against him, give him the ball, and watch him go. Again, I think it'll negatively impact Emerson, but you're more likely going to get something out of the game by doing it. So I agree. Anyway, I'm going to pop off to the toilet in a minute.
Well, let's see what you're all saying. Fred said Zuma is a disaster waiting to happen. Brian said Zuma's passing stats must be awful. I'll tell you what, Brian. They don't sponsor this video. Let me click on it here. Here you go, Brian. There you go. SofaScore. Let me get rid of your comment. That one. That none of them work. Brian, download that app, the SofaScore app, right? The link's not in the description below, to be fair. You'll have to scan the QR code. You'll get his passing stats there. It's generally a really good app. They don't sponsor this video. It's a really good app. What were we? There was a comment as we click on for a little bit of fun. Inject some fun. It was by Razor. I can't. Where's Razor? Where's it gone? Sad now. I've lost your comment, Razor. Sorry, Razor. It was about the pronunciation of Paqueta. I was going to click on it because it came up on the Talk Sport thing the other day, actually. And I thought, here it is, Razor. Razor says, for a Scotsman, you know your Brazilian language, nicely, Paqueta. It came up on Talk Sport. Kevin Nolan was on there. And they asked him, how do you pronounce it? Is it Paqueta or is it Paqueta? And he said, it's a bit of both, really. It's Paqueta. So it's like Paqueta is how he likes it. And Nolan just, I just call him Lucas. But I'm sticking with Paqueta, Razor. Kevin Nolan says so. Ben said, not afraid of Freiburg, to be honest. Zuma has been a liability and they haven't done anything with it. We should go for it and grab the bull by the horns and take a win home. I completely agree with everything Ben has just said there. Joshua says, if Kudus goes left wing, we'd like to see Paqueta up top. See if that gives Bowen a bit more space on the right. Again, I completely agree with that one. Josh says, it looks more likely to score at the moment. We get it into their half, don't know what to do with it. But both, I think a lot of their attacks are limited to long distance shooting and crosses, which we're dealing really well with. I think Mavropanos is having a good game. Carl says Kudus is trying hard because of the way we set up. Moyes expects magic. He's putting a lot of pressure on three players to make something. Infinitely says the game probably needs Antonio up front, get Bowen and Kudus into the game. Some of you thinks that Mavropanos and Suval have been brilliant. I do agree with that, to be fair. Tyler says if we keep this up, I feel we will concede. Freiburg is just missing a little quality in the last ball. I would argue we're doing the same. I know they've had more opportunities to do something with the last ball, but we've certainly had one or two. Andy says, what does Ward-Prowse do? The least creative player to ever play number 10. Still confident we could scrape the win. In this game, it's difficult to justify it because Paqueta has moved. The scoreline is where it should be. It's in our favour away from home, says Matthew. Next half, let's go out there and whoop up some Freiburg. Leon says, I think Kudus has gone missing because of Paqueta coming back. To be honest with you, I think it's just... I think it's the possibility, the impact of the African Cup of Nations. I know it's just me, but... thank you, Connor. 81% pass success rate for Kudus, which is probably quite low for the centre-back. It's not like he's banging out adventurous football from the back there. The thing, what was I talking about before I got distracted? Connor, that's your fault for distracting me. Anyway, Brad said, Felix Souček should be playing way higher up and nodding onto Bowen. He's isolated on his own. I think that will come. I think it will come. We've just seen it in the Everton game. I think the attacking sub will be to bring Phillips on for Ward-Prowse, Kudus left, Bowen right, Paqueta through the middle, and then Thomas Souček goes into that sort of number 10 role. This person, and I'm not going to try and pronounce that, says, however this game ends, I've got to say, I really like drinking with your away supporters today. Great fans, cheers and greetings from Freiburg. That's a very kind comment. Thank you very much. Kev said, nothing worrying him so far. We just need to do more up front. Joe says, Kudus and Bowen look miles off it. That's what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about Mohamed Kudus. Thank you, Connor. I just think the potential impact of Kudus with Ghana playing so poorly in African Cup of Nations is dismissed a little bit too easily, because in that interview, as soon as they got beaten in that game, that final group stage game, I think they might have drawn actually. Regardless, they were out. They knew they were out, barring the medical. And Kudus looked broken. He actually looked heartbroken in that interview. And I just think it was only a month and a half ago. So it's still not that long ago. And I think we can underestimate maybe the impact that would have on a player who's gone to play for his country in African Cup of Nations. And they've been embarrassed, quite frankly. But he looked broken when he was doing that interview. Kev said he agrees with oneself. Rearranging the front should give us some more room to attack. Guy said, doesn't really matter. We're not winning this competition. Liverpool have already won it. Dino says, every time I see Alvarez, you look at someone, I worry he's going to get here. There's been a few times, isn't he? There's been a few times that he's been chasing players. At one point, I thought he was like quite slow and broken, to be honest with you. Malik said they've had a lot of chances. We had the better chances. I do agree with that one. Don't know how Bowen missed. I think he thought the defender was going to get it. He looked a bit surprised that it fell to him. And David says, is Kudus the new Ben Rama? Is he the new scapegoat? To be honest, I don't see anybody blaming Kudus, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm not reading certain comments or something. I think most people are sticking up for Kudus and blaming Moyes for it. I think it's a bit of both. Here for Hummus said, Freiburg have defended very well. Looks like they've learned from last time and are physically matching up to Paqueta. I agree. I think Freiburg have got it spot on defensively so far. Cockney says Paqueta plays better when he's got a bet on. Hopefully he'll get to the bookies now. It's half time. Razor said he likes to set up, but I missed out letting one of the coaches take over from Moyes after a change a few players. Joshua said Salah had the same issue after African Cup of Nations where they lost on pens. It was tragic for his fantasy Premier League. Hayes says it looks like Kudus had the soul sucked out of him. And Feza says he needs fire back in the belly. I struggle to play it, to blame Moyes for it. I think it's maybe maybe it is, but I just think it's maybe the African Cup of Nations. David says when you come back from Ghana and play Moyes balls depression. The bet. We need Hoffler to get booked and Kudus to score. I think Salah he certainly had one shot. He had it in the first minute. What a block by incredible block by Soufal, by the way. What 1 minute to be that alive. You just see some players take a few minutes to get rocking and rolling. Brad says, I think West Ham are not going to go far in Europe this year. Leon says we need to step up in the second half. David thinks Alvarez looks very leggy. I think so as well. There was one point he was running back and he just looked a bit slow, but there has been periods after that. He looked fine again, but for just that one run, I thought he just looked a bit knackered. The Freiburg fan says to whoever commented saying Liverpool's going to win it, I kind of disagree. There's a lot of great teams in it. As a German, I can just say that you shouldn't underestimate Xabi's Leverkusen. Nobody does. Don't worry. Nobody does. I think when he said Liverpool, it's between them and Leverkusen for me. They're the two teams I would like to avoid. Mahi said, Kudus forced go backwards so often because he's playing with Sutra. There is that, and there's also Christian Gunter's right behind him today. There was at one point, though, Souček made a really adventurous run, and I was a bit annoyed because I thought, well, it's not going to happen. Andy said we would take 0-0 now. I would as well. I feel like there's a goal coming in the second half, and I don't know who for, and I don't like it. Chris said he would take a draw now, but he has a feeling we can nick this. I think we could nick it. I think they can nick it as well. Bender said negativity is unreal. It's a very professional job. I don't think there's much negativity. I think there's people saying it's a boring game, which I think it is. I think it is a very boring game.
But it depends how you read it, right? I think this game's there for someone to win it. I have more. What I will say, Geo, as the teams are back out. So if you want to say anything now, you want to get any last words in now.
I'm okay. I'm going to listen to you before I go through, so I know what you're saying.
I think we have levels to step up. I'm not sure how many levels Freiburg have to step up.
Okay, fair dues. I think they're waiting on a mistake from Kurt Zuma, and I think they might get one, to be fair. If they keep on going at him and putting him under pressure and allowing us to give it to him, it feels like there's an error there. But anyway, thank you very much, Bevo. By the way, I'm going to say we go on and nick this 1-0. Don't know why I'm feeling.
I'll take it, Gio. I'll take it. We'll be able to find out whether Gio was correct at full time when he does the match review. However, it's time at this point to come on, you irons, deploy the boys. It's time to run two things. It's the second half. It's Freiburg versus West Ham. It's 0-0 at half time, and we'll see no changes to either side at the break as far as I could see. We'll see how it goes. But so far, so 0-0. Not just from a West Ham perspective, but also from a Freiburg to the extent where there was 0 minutes of added time. A rarity in this year's football, where you're more likely to get 10 minutes of added time than you are 0. There we go. Freiburg instantly passing the ball out of possession. Their goalkeeper's distribution's been a bit wonky tonight. Maybe we should step on that a little bit, put him under a bit more pressure, because he doesn't seem super confident with that. And we'll get a throw in on the halfway line. Interesting to see so far. First thing, without any subs, is Paquetá back out on the left, or is it James Ward-Prowse? It seems to be James Ward-Prowse, which, as I said, I'm against, but we'll see. Hopefully him and Kudus can really link up and make something happen. Alvarez, Soufal. Kudus, nice turn on the right-hand side. Wiggles his way into the area. Hits the shot straight at the goalkeeper. But a nice little wiggle inwards. Good to see him. Good to see him creating a little summit. taking on his man, spinning him, going for it, getting Gonzo all over him, but manages to find that space. But the shot was directly down the lens of the goalkeeper, straight into the arms, an easy collect. James will press again. The press is just not... I don't know. I just don't like him on the left. Doan picks up the ball, looks to try and cut his way inwards. Hurfler playing it out wide again to their right back, who's got very far forward today, and none of his crosses have been particularly effective, but he's there. Dinks it in. Oh, that's just, oh, leg. I didn't know what was happening there. The ball gets dinked in. It wasn't particularly great, and a spectacular scissor kick from Salai. Ends up. It looked like it was going wide. It hit Souček on the way through, though. Completely wrong foots Fabianski, and the camera angle was enough to where I wasn't sure how fast it was moving towards the goal, but it was moving towards the goal. And thankfully, it wasn't very fast, and Fabianski very easily collected it in the end. But there was a moment there where I thought, I don't know. If the people go for it, the people go for it. You know, they are available. They are available. I love a flump. You know, there was a time when my girlfriend was obsessed with flumps, and I'd go to the shop, and I'd get 5, just straight up, just be like, yeah, here we go, let's have some flumps. I love a flump. Flumps are great. Flumps are awesome. I'm very pro flump. Or flume, because the P looks a bit like an E sometimes. It was almost perfect. It was almost perfection. Paquetá loses out. Now it's going to be a free kick today. It's going to be a free kick, almost on the right-hand side touchline from deep, 35 yards away, something like that. Nowhere close to shooting range. It's going to be a deep, deep corner. Here comes the cross, whipped in towards the back post. It's not a bad ball, and Doan almost collects that and he sneezes. Oh, it actually came to effect there. Freiburg, Salai picks up a yellow card. They were begging for a penalty to the extent where a yellow card has come out for the opposite direction. It's played in. Someone offside, but nothing too deep. I have no idea why he's claiming for a foul there against Sufal. But three of the players go steaming towards him. Is it a yellow card for a dive as opposed to for... I think it might have been a yellow card for a dive as opposed to for... what's the word I'm looking for? Arguing back with a referee. Does well to keep it in there, Freiburg. But I don't get where the foul was there. I mean, don't get me wrong. They were both sort of up against each other, but... Crowd are starting to liven up here as the game gets a bit heavy. Is he Connor? Did that just get announced? I'm not entirely shocked, but did that just get announced? Because I did not hear this. We have bells, Draconian. There are bells available, sir. Listen, he's just a well-kept man. It doesn't surprise me entirely, you know. He's just a well-kept man. Just got removed from the roster page. Went on Twitter rant the other day. Yeah, I didn't see the Twitter rant. But I'm not. The thing is, I was excited for him to do stuff in AEW, but to be honest with you, he's just been. His commentary stuff just hasn't really hit. So I'm not entirely shocked. There's a good opportunity for whipped in. Paquetá volley. Drags it wide. Jared Bowen getting down that right-hand side, getting involved with Kudus, making a problem for themselves. Crossing is nice, and it's just a little bit behind Paquetá. He can't really go towards it or anything. And I tell you what, Doan does beautifully to get back flying past Paquetá, getting in front of him, kick out, gets connection with the ball, does well. It's going to be a corner to West Ham. Unfortunately, it is going to be an in-swinger from James Ward-Prowse. Although, last couple of games, we haven't aimed it at the exact same section every time, and we seem to be doing a different routine. Lots of people looking like they're going to try and arrive late on this one, which I'm here for. We have gone towards the back post. Oh, Mavropanos. Oh, Mavropanos, so close. Ball got whipped in towards the back stick. Mavropanos arriving there. Goalkeeper goes for it, completely misses it over the top of him. Gets a solid head on it. Hits the outside of the post, and Mavropanos close. Oh, is that true? I did not see it, and I didn't see the Twitter rant either. But that's mad. That's mad because Ian Riccaboni is like the nicest dude. He comes across so well. And also, like, Riccaboni's been brilliant. When he's done commentary for AEW, he's been absolutely brilliant. Whereas, again, Kevin Kelly just hasn't... I don't know. There's been a lot of weirdness about Kevin Kelly since he joined there. We're doing well here. We're creating opportunities. Kudus, again, fighting for it. Doing well. Wins that ball. That's brilliant from Kudus. Tries to release a shot. It's just too close. But he does so well to win the ball back. Shot from range from Soufal. We almost got our once every 2 year Vladimir Soufal goal. And it gets dragged wide. But close again. We're starting to knock on the door a little bit. It feels like we turned up the heat. We've gone gas Mark 4 on them, ladies and gentlemen. Kudus really stepping up. Jared Bowen drifting out over to that right-hand side, teaming up with him, creating a bit more space for both of them. Paquetá moving into the centre is sort of working for that as well, actually. You know, I said I didn't see it at half-time, but actually, I think that's sort of being a little bit beneficial because it means that when Jared Bowen does drift across to that right-hand side, we can essentially double up on the fullback, allowing Kudus to have a bit more space, allowing Jared Bowen to have a bit more space, making Freiburg struggle defensively, and Paquetá can move into those central positions in a way that James Ward-Prowse can't really. So in that sense, it's working. We're turning up the heat a little bit. Like I say, not quite knocking on the door, but the heat is gas Mark 4 now, whereas before we were gas Mark 3, you know? Just, you know, a little bit of a that's an awful cross. Thank you very much. That'll be a corner to us. Not a corner, a goal kick to us. You know, before we were just in defrost mode. Now we've turned up the power a little bit on the microwave. We're getting there. I know. Did he score once? I feel like he scored once, but I can't remember. Or maybe I just was excited because he almost scored. Maybe that's what I'm getting confused by. But you can see why, John. He's not a prolific boy, to be fair. I feel like with any defender, they'll take a shot from outside the box and be awful, but sometimes they score absolute bangers. Listen, Emerson, a key example of that. A very key example of that. I never want it to happen. I never want them to shoot because Jesus, like, they never go in. But when they go in, oh boy, is it exciting. It's good. It's good. You just got to respect. You just got to respect greatness when you see it. You know. Nothing. The great bard wouldn't say himself. Freiburg looking to work their way forward now. Not really done too much in the second half so far, and that shot from range gets dragged significantly wide. Every single blue shirt watches it roll very, very wide from Gonzo, and it's going to be a goal kick. It's a lot. But do you know what? I'm so excited for him, and I'm so glad the way I was saying earlier in the stream. I don't know if you were here, but I'm so glad for the way he's joined. I wasn't saying it because of spoilers, but the stuff that happened last night with him, very, very, very exciting. Carter, good to see you. Hope you are. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. How are you? I've been playing that Balatro game, that card game. Unreal. So good. I'm obsessed. Cookie with gas on. Listen, I'm mixing all the metaphors, you know? They've gone gas Mark 5 on the kettle. It's still kicking off. You know? You've never heard of it? Bro, look up Balatro. Balatro. Banger. Came out like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Indie card game. Oh, honestly, it's a roguelike. A roguelike poker card game thing. Oh, I'm having the best of times. It is very good. See, Connor knows. It's a banger. Portably, it could be a banger. I've only got it on PlayStation 5, yeah. See him go. Oh, just good. It's just good. Doan picks up the ball wide right. Looks to try and cut inside with his with his left foot. Doesn't really do anything. Easily collected out. Good interception there. And we can move forward with the ball. Again, their fullback's just he's literally standing on Kudus. His job is to just like stop Kudus today, but you could just see how far forward he was. Kudus dropping deep. If Bowen could move out into that space, we're just looking so much more effective doing that. You can see the idea. You can see it. Kurt Zuma's somehow managing to get away with that one. I don't think it was a handball, but I just don't think he should have had the ball. Big clatters. Big clatters. It shouldn't be a yellow card for Paquetá, in my opinion. He's going to get one, and I see why. It shouldn't be, but I love a big clatter. I didn't see your Freiburg pun. Dean, you know I love nothing more than a pun, mate. You know I love nothing more than a pun. Okay, actually looking at it again, Paquetá does get his feet on top of Doen. I'll take the yellow card. That one was fair. But you get Freiburg bundling Emerson over just before. I love a bit of that vibe. I love just a big. It was a yellow though. Looking at the replay from another angle, it definitely was. It definitely was a yellow. Moyes having a big conversation with the fourth official. I was just vibing to Hot Chip in the background. I apologise. Looking for a long shot once again, Freiburg. Thank you very much. We'll be having that goal kick. No stress. No stress. No stress. No stress. Andy, appreciate you for joining. How's New Zealand? What time of day is it in New Zealand now? It'll probably be like mid-morning ish. I want to go to New Zealand at some point. Seems like a beautiful place. Where is Bele? It's a great shout. Where is Bele? You need him at all times. I've seen him warming up a couple of times. I've seen flashes of Bele, but I've not seen flashes of that Bele brilliance on the field. It was an 80s beer pun, so way before your time anyway. Yeah, okay, fair. I struggle with beer now, let alone from, the past. The past. Yeah, it was a definite foul. I love the energy, but it was a definite foul. I want to go to Canada as well. Vancouver, I'd be here for. Ontario, I'd be here for. Canada's a place I want to go. Oh, that's a great ball from Freiburg forward. Long, I tell you what, Zuma deals with it well. It's going to be a corner, but big ball forward. Along the floor, nice driven through ball from deep. Their player sprints onto it and Zuma covers it well, but yeah. Listening on my way to work from Melbourne, Australia. Will, welcome. Oh, so it's early morning. Because New Zealand will be sort of roughly... New Zealand must be roughly, what, probably 1 hour off Melbourne time-ish, I think? I don't know very well. Whipped in, headed away from the corner. Laid short, poorly, from Freiburg. They look to try and work their way down the right corner quadrant once more. Emerson just sort of getting in the way, stopping that. Paquetá with the nice little stop. Steady, lays it back, and it's just punted forward. I'll tell you what, Kudus is charging that down. Go on, Kudus. Love to see it. The big glass has come out. You love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen... this is an insane thing to say. If you have not seen Alex's massive glass, you're missing out because it's huge. It is massive. 2 hours, says Mr. Google. Okay, I was close. Winnipeg. I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot. Listen, Canada is a place I would love to go to. It seems like my kind of vibe, Canada. Where was it? I saw M. Brandon said he lives in Vancouver. I'd love to go Vancouver. Canada seems like my sort of vibe. America-wise, I want to go to Seattle, which is just next to Canada. So I could probably do both. Kudus does really well. Cuts inside. The ball crossed the back of the back post. Close. Close. We've been better going forward in this second half. We've definitely been better. Kudus is a big part of that. Just nice little, just sort of lofted ball in towards the back post. Paquetá steaming onto it, gets his head onto it, just underneath it, over the top. He would have been impressive to cushion that one back down, but close. I tell you what, it's getting closer. Canada, Japan, Norway, yeah, they're definitely up there for me as well. Kind of definitely up there for me. I would lob New Zealand into that mix. Yeah, and there's like a couple of other places, but they're the top ones. They're the top ones, I would agree. Get a beer shotgun from Frank. What are you thinking? Beer shotgun? Yes? No? He says he left it in America. He said he left it at Paddy's, which I think is a disgrace personally. But there we go. That's where we're at today. We're in London today. Sorry, I saw people saying bells. I don't know if it was enough. So screw it. We're gonna lob a poll in. We'll just lob it in because I think I missed it being enough. I also need to resize this window. This window's causing me problems. Let's resize it slightly. There we go. Right. Poll. Bell. Yes. No. I'm lobbing that in chat now. It will be up there in a split second time. Somewhere over here. If you're watching on desktop, I guess. If you're not in theatre mode or underneath there. There'll be a poll saying bell, yes or no. Let me know if you think we should. I'll give it until 65. I'll give it till 65. Doan cuts inside, trying to, again, work it onto his stronger foot. It's just not happening, is it? Played around by Freiburg. The ball into the box deflects off Emerson and is headed away. Not very successfully by West Ham, although Paquetá does brilliantly there. And Kudus is on his bike on the far side. Finds him. Oh, just a little bit ahead of him. Little misjudgment. But Bowen's also there. You've got Paquetá streaming in from the left-hand side. Bowen is currently on the ball in the right corner quadrant. Cuts inside to the area. Jared Bowen hits it! Oh, just wide of the left-hand post. Just wide of the left-hand post. A good counter-attack. Crafted from Lucas Paquetá, and I tell you what, it's a good save. I thought it went wide, but that is a solid hand from the goalkeeper, Jared Bowen, who comes inside, cuts it in, hits it with his left foot, destined for that far side of the net, and it's well saved. Strong hand from the goalkeeper. Strong hand from the goalkeeper, and it's going to be a corner to West Ham. I tell you what, we've been significantly better going forward in this second half. Significantly better going in the second half. Rag, are you a Freiburg fan? If so, welcome. I hope you're well. I don't know if I said that to you earlier on in the stream. If you are. Here comes the corner. It's going to be James Ward-Prowse again. Let's see if this second new corner routine's working some more. Gone for the same space. Oh! It's going to be a free kick. Free kick. Same space once again for played in towards that back post. Mavropanos arriving, but this time just a bit too physical on the centre back. And it's going to be a free kick inside the 6-yard box for Freiburg. The poll should end now. It has been enough time. I suspect it will say yes, but let's end it and get those final results. 19% no, 80% said yes in the next break of play. Over 100 people voted. 142 people voted. So in the next break of play, I'll run and I'll grab one. The best bit is not the red bit. I'm not going to eat the wax. You man, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I haven't done it yet, and I won't do it still. Right, foul. Free kick. I'm going to go grab one. Hang on, I'll be back in a sec. Danny will entertain you. Bell acquired, ladies and gentlemen. I'm seeing some. Is that subs? Are we seeing subs, or are we just seeing a break and play? Might just be a break and play. Emerson is down. Paquetá's with him, which is not good to see. Not good to see at all. But while this all happens, we do have the bell, ladies and gentlemen. We do have the bell. Emerson's still down. Does anyone know what he's done? I'm seeing the word groin. Who eats the wax? Thank you, Zom. These lot, right, always trying to get me to eat the wax. Not me. Not for me. Let's pull this hair down. I've got a bit of a 80s, like, I say 80s. I've got a bit of a, like, 50s rocker thing going on there. Looking at replay of the opportunity from Jared Bowen, who cut inside. Nice hit as well, but it's a very good save. Full stretch. Just really struggling to open this. Right, we're finally in. It took me really concentrating. Usually I could just sort of unravel it without thinking, but that one took some effort, mentally. Some mental effort there. Here we're in. Aaron Cresswell is going to make his way on for Emerson. Bad news for us. Hopefully more precautionary than anything else, but he's walking under his own weight. But he doesn't exactly seem comfortable, Emerson. And Cresswell comes on in his position. Here we go. First sub of the day. The wax is poisonous. Don't try and kill. Listen. I'm not going to do it regardless. You know, we've had times where the chat have been wax in. And I have been very against it. I have been very, very against it. That's a free kick to West Ham in a very good position, it feels like. And I will never do it. Right, Bell consumed. I might have just given myself hiccups, but makes you more lyrical. Solid work, Mark. Very good work. I think he's a bit far away from James Ward-Prowse, this free kick, but he might just have a punt. I wouldn't be against him just having a go, even though I think it is a bit far. Oh, he does. Driven wide, went for the knuckleball, just driven it wide. I wasn't against it. It was a bit far for him. I didn't think it was within range, but it was a thing. It was a thing that I was fine with him going for. Freiburg looking like they're going to make a couple of subs themselves here. Let's see if I can somehow keep up with these on the graphic below. Gregorgic is coming on. It's one of them at least. They're going to play. They're gonna wait till the next break of play here. Freiburg. They take the goal kick, big boot forward. Kurt Zouma easily wins that header, although he seemed to misjudge the timing of it massively. And I guess here comes the subs. So first one, Hola comes off for Gregorgic. Grifo coming off for Weiss. Weiss. How do you spell it? It's something like something. Hang on, I can copy and paste it from the other thing. Surprised they took Grifo off. Striking wise, I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's really done it. It sort of makes sense bringing him off, but Grifo, a little bit shocked by. I think that's correct. Yet another opportunity for West Ham. Soufal attacking down the right hand side. He does well to cut his Bowen. It was Bowen. Sorry, I thought it was Soufal. I was going to say he did very well to dribble in and out like that. It wasn't him. That's why. It wasn't him. That's why. Short pass to Jared Bowen again. Inside the area. Looks to try and drive and hit it with his right foot. He's just, again, not quite getting that taking on his man fully happening. That wasn't English. There we go. Good work, James Ward-Prowse, to get back and stop Bowen there. Home fans very unhappy with it, and I could see why. But I like the effort from James Ward-Prowse. Oh, that's not a bad ball from Paquetá. Oh, it was a little bit overhit. The idea was nice to try and find Kudus through with a through ball. It was a really nice idea, and it almost paid off. The longer this game's on, the more I'm pretty certain it's going to end 0-0. Because at half time I was like, neither side deserving it. I can see a situation in which someone nicks this, blah 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 blah. the better we get, which we have done in the second half. We've been significantly better going forward than we were in the first, and I think we've been the better team. I'll be honest with you. Now I feel like we won't score. Now I feel like we won't score. Back out wide, whipped in. Gregorčić. Header. Straight at the goalkeeper. Pronunciation, awful. Ball gets played in. It was a nice ball. And, I mean, from that kind of position, he was really felt impossible to get any sort of power onto it. And Fabianski was always going to be matching it quite easily, even if it was a better direction. He should have maybe just kept it down for whoever was maybe close. If there was I don't know. I didn't see if there was a player close, but maybe if there was a Freiburg player in a sort of close range, maybe you just cushion it back down towards them. You know, like that with Paquetá, nice little cushion down towards Jared Bowen. Tries to cut inside. Dad, that's a free kick. No, referee says no. Very weird performance from the referee tonight. That one felt like a free kick, and it would have been in a very good position for us as well with Jared Bowen going down. It would have been a James Ward-Prowse actual range. But referee says no. Nicely done by Zuma, but yeah. Who knows? Game is dry. Agent Samson, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Gregorčić. Go across the bottom note there. Gregorčić. Gregorčić, DJ Hayes, it was Gregorčić. Gregorčić? Is it just Gregorčić? Ogyan? If that's true, thank you. Because that's made my life so significantly easier and better. Gregorčić. Ogyan, thank you. I'm going with Gregorčić. Gregorčić. Yes, I live in Germany. Ogyan, thank you, sir. You're very kind of you. Here's the thing. Most people, right, they would react negatively to that sort of feedback. Me, I only want to get better. And I appreciate you, Ogyan, because what you've done is make my life significantly easier. Gregorčić. I'm going to stop saying it now because it's starting to annoy even me. I don't know, Lee. I don't know. This is why most of the time I mute them and just listen to music. Do you know what I mean? I need them for extra information when I'm doing the watch along, but I don't need to hear the ins and outs of it. I'm not that fussed. Just call him Dave like Azpilicueta. Yeah, you could do. Sounds like he's having a stroke. Listen, I'm trying. It's exactly like that. I would say me and Bruce Wayne have a lot of things in common. You know? So many jokes I want to make, so little time. I would say me and Bruce Wayne have a lot in common. You know? Both handsome, rugged individuals. Oh, that's a good opportunity. James Ward-Prowse hits it with his weak foot. Easy save, but again, a decent opportunity. It was with his weak foot. It was coming across him. It would have been difficult for anyone who's not used to taking those sort of opportunities, but again, not quite knocking on the door, but close. Oh, that's a really nice flick on from Freiburg, and the first touch from Salai was way ahead of himself, and Fabianski easily comes and collects. Witness your parents being murdered outside the cinema? Listen. Yeah, but I just didn't get left any money. Do you know what I mean? I'm poor as hell. I don't have the richness. You know? Yes, don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. Tell you what, that Robinson Patterson Batman. Decent film. Can't lie. Benfica Rangers is 2-2. Out wide to the left-hand side for Freiburg. He does well to drift his way inwards, taking the ball past Kudus foul, but the cross in was aimless, and now West Ham can counter-attack Kudus, although the pass short to Bowen was snapped out. Not a bad opportunity out wide to Cresswell. It's not a bad cross. Jared Bowen just a little bit ahead of him. Close. Close. Yet again. I tell you what, I still don't think he's having that great a performance, Jared Bowen, but he personally is knocking on the door a little bit. We're getting some opportunities. That's well done from Cresswell. That's some prime Cresswell nonsense. Getting into those positions, whipping it in with good, decent precision, and it was just a little bit ahead of Jared Bowen, but it was nicely done. 12 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It feels like in the second half, at least there will be some stoppage time. Cresswell battling for it wide on the left-hand side. Loses out. It's going to be a throw into France Freiburg. Freiburg really thinking long and hard about this throw. And eventually they take it, and Mavropanos collects it with ease. Mavropanos collects it with ease after Kurt Zouma clatters to the ground. Not moving very comfortably, Kurt Zouma there. Looking somewhat in pain. Hopefully he'll be able to run it off, because he is going to have to play again at the weekend as well, so... Alvarez turns his man, lays it short to Mavropanos. Kudus. Lays it short. Maybe Michael Owen can keep explaining how amazing Moyes is on TNT Sports. Listen, I'm very much of the evidence that this game was boring because Michael Owen was there. You know how, like, if you go abroad, right? Say you're English, right? And you go abroad to see some friends somewhere fancy, I don't know. Somewhere with hot weather, and it rains, and they go, oh, see you brought the weather with you. I'm saying Michael Owen brought the vibes with him. Boring guy. Boring guy. You know? Laid short, pulled back. Nice opportunity for Freiburg, but the shot... It's in! He must be offside, surely. Oh my god, it's Gregorich. I'm glad I learned how to pronounce his name, and he's just slotted it home. How was he so unmarked in the area? How was he so unmarked in the area? Insane. 1-0 to Freiburg. And just a lapse in concentration. Alvarez loses out with a poor pass, and then they get again, just that counter-attacking quickly, which is what I've been saying the entire time. You do that fast, you'll get there. Sufal doesn't come out to meet his man. The pullback is nice. He's a mile onside. It's just Kurt Zouma, Aaron Cresswell just seemingly unaware of his existence in behind Kurt Zouma in front of Aaron Cresswell. And the ball comes in. I'll be honest with you, I think it might be a shot that came in originally, but Gregoritsch just stands into that space and just slots it home. 1-0 Freiburg, and that is a catastrophic goal to concede. It's fine, ladies and gentlemen. Calvin Phillips has come onto the pitch. Calvin Phillips is on for James Ward-Prowse, as they make some substitutes as well. They make a couple of substitutes as well. It's Freiburg 1. It's West Ham 0. I'm shocked. I am shocked. We've been significantly better in the second half. We've really, really put it on them. And it's been at times felt like it was almost an inevitability that we'd score. An awful pass from Alvarez. Just completely useless pass. I don't know what he was trying to do. Loses out on the ball and then just some quick passing. And again, a pullback. Once more, a pullback. Means we lose out 1-0 to Freiburg. He just had to tap it in. He just had to get a touch just to lay it into basically an open net. Mad. From Freiburg's perspective, Seidler comes off for Kubler. And Doan comes off for Musilja. I'm going to go with. Well, there we go. 1-0 Freiburg. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm just sort of in shock it was that easy. Sort of just shocked it was that easy, if I'm being honest. It really shouldn't have been. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that at all, to be honest with you. Freiburg working a ball out wide to the left-hand side. Looking to try and cross it in. The pullback and shot from range is bad. From them, it goes over. I mean, it's just like this second half has been almost all us. Freiburg have struggled in this second half to stop us for the most of the time. And we've had a lot of opportunities. I mean, most of them fall into Jared Bowen, who again has not been having a great game. Yeah, I don't. Sufal does well to win that one. Yeah, I just don't know. I'll be honest with you, I just don't know. Man United fan for life. Thank you very much for the 199. Love the channel, but and it's just beating you. Listen, it is what it is. The game's getting fiery now. Sufal, notably, is getting fully involved with some beef. He's getting some warning from the referees there. For two occasions in very quick succession. Little nip in the back of Thomas Tuchek there. I mean, you play this game again at the London Stadium, we win. I think that's true, but yeah, Calvin Phillips to take the free kick. He's looking for. It's not a bad ball to Suchek at the back post. Zuma's there for the spectacular volley. Can't get a connection with it. I tell you what, the ball to Suchek at the back post wasn't bad from Calvin Phillips. Since then, we've got Kudus has moved wide out onto the left-hand side. Cresswell looking to loft it in towards Paquetá, who he does. The chest on, looking for Bowen, can't quite find him. Kudus has taken up a wide left position. Where's Calvin Phillips? Is he wide right? Or is Paquetá wide right and Calvin Phillips is just sort of around? I don't know. I'm really struggling to figure out what the formation is right now. Zuma's struggling, by the way. Zuma's down and he's holding his knee. Yeah, wasn't very comfortable for him. I think it's his ankle, actually. Or his leg or something. I don't know what he is. He seems to hold 3 different places, so he goes down. Gregoritsch just sort of falls on top of him. Calvin Phillips looking to spray the ball forward. It's nicely done to find Sufal wide on the left-hand side. A really nice pass from Phillips. Sufal finds it inwards to Alvarez. Paquetá with a back heel. Free kick goes against us. Looking at a replay of the goal. Maybe it isn't a shot. I don't know, but it's so easy for him. Zuma, man. What? Zuma has no clue he's there. Like, looking at that replay, every single time I watch it, what Zuma does gets worse. It's the fact that the ball goes past Zuma and he watches it goes past, and sort of the way he moves and looks, it's very clear to me that he does not know that there's a player in behind him at all. He really does not know that that exists. Cresswell should know. Cresswell is in front of him. He sees him and doesn't react to it. But Zuma is just completely caught unaware that there's a player in behind him. And again, we get done by pullbacks. Pullbacks are a huge weakness of ours. They always have been. We do not know how to deal with them. Pullbacks are difficult enough to deal with in general, but they just consistently cause us a problem. Freiburg going to make yet another sub. Roll coming on for Salai. Yeah, there's just a lot of questions about that goal. A lot of questions. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. A lot of questions to be asked about it. Because Zuma should be aware, whether that's through his own doing or from someone else's doing, Zuma should be aware. Cresswell 100% can see him. There's no way he can't. Curtis cuts outside. Looks to try and dribble the forward. Maybe could have released it a little bit earlier, but he finds Aaron Cresswell anyway. We maintain possession of the ball. I mean, look, Zuma's our Ledley King, right? Zuma's our Ledley King. He's a guy who's sort of permanently broken, but when you can play him and sort of manage his fitness, he's unreal. The problem is, at some point, Ledley King broke and could no longer play football. And I think this season we have seen that with Kurt Zuma. I think he is officially done. The games in which we see Kurt Zuma revert to that old Kurt Zuma are becoming less and less frequent. And unfortunately, we're stuck in a situation where his drop-off seems to have been so catastrophic, so precipitous this season, in the second half of the season, that buying another... I mean, let's be real. If we bought another central defender in January, the fan base would have exploded for right reasons, because we needed so many other different positions. We're now stuck with it for at least 3 more months, or whatever it'll be, 2.5 months, whatever it'll be. And it's going to be really difficult. Like just like Winston Reed is another great example of it, Suburban, where an unreal player, but at some point he just broke properly. You manage his injuries and he's incredible, but yeah, Antonio, another player who's like that. I think with Zuma, we've just seen the end of it. I think he is just broken now. It's difficult because what do you do? Play Ogbonna ahead of him? He's been broken for a couple of years. like, it's a really difficult one to figure out. 4 minutes of added time, by the way. It's a really difficult one to figure out. I don't know. Mavropanos looking to try and bring the ball forward out of possession. Finds Vladimir Sufal. Kudus loses out on the ball. It's going to be a throw into Freiburg wide on the right hand side or left hand side. Paquetá coming off for Mikel Antonio now. 3 minutes to go. For some reason. I disagree. I'll be honest with you, I disagree. I feel like they wouldn't. In the same way that, and I think James Ward-Prowse is like the key example here, right? I've like 6 months. I am a Thomas Souček guy, so I am very happy with the defensive midfield two of Alvarez and Souček. For the vast majority of the time, I'm very happy about. The fan base is not. The fan base doesn't like Thomas Souček. They haven't for a long time. We brought in Calvin Phillips. There's been a large backlash against Calvin Phillips. Part of that is because he's been so horrendous since he's played. But I think the fact that we need one and yet we got one hasn't stopped it. So in my opinion, we wouldn't. But it's really difficult. It's a really, really difficult situation to be in. And let's be real, Zuma feels like he's... I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just a feeling from me, but it feels like Zuma's getting worse. I don't know, but we'll see. Corner to West Ham United. On the right-hand side for us, Aaron Cresswell's the one who's going to come across to take it. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. Remember, there will be a live match review straight after this with Geo, which I'll spam the link for. Like the video while you're down there, by the way, because it helps us out massively as a channel. Subscribe if you're new around here, because we are the most consistent West Ham fan channel when it comes to watch-alongs. Whipped in from Cresswell. Headed back across from Alvarez. Can't quite make it. Soufal looks to hook it across. Antonio was there. Can't quite get the touch. Kudus on the ball, wide on the left-hand side, looks to try and dink it in with his weak foot. Mavropanos heads it wide. It's going to be a goal kick. Mavropanos had a couple of opportunities. That one the worst of them all heading-wise, but maybe going for the goal from that angle wasn't a great idea. You can see why he does, but... Difficult. Less than a minute to go. Freiburg obviously not going to be throwing anything towards the end of this game. They're gonna happily take this result as it is. Good ball forward to Jared Bowen, wide on the right hand side. Jared Bowen looking to create something deep in stoppage time. Hits it, deflects up. Antonio couldn't quite get there. Jared Bowen just do something else apart from what you did. Another throw in, 20 seconds left of the game. Another throw in wide on the right hand side. Gonna go for the long throw. I don't know if that's the right decision. I would have preferred us to go something short and then try to make it work, but here it comes. Long throw from Jared Bowen, launched in. Header on from Alvarez isn't really there. Shot comes in, blocked from one of the Freiburg players. Phillips is the one who hit it. Tries to nod it on again there. Doesn't quite work out. Overhead kick from Mavropanos. It's battling. It's bouncing around to the box. Mavropanos hits it. It was Alvarez who hit the overhead kick. It's Mavropanos who skies it absolutely. And that is going to be the end of the game, you feel like. I'm hearing talk of handball from the saying there's potential hand strike. I think there's a VAR check, but I personally didn't see it. I mean, it hits off his hand, but it's not handball for me. It's not handball for me. Souček hits it. His hand is up here, but it's like, bro, he kicks it at the exact same. So you can't give that. You can't. Personally, I don't think you can give that. I don't think that's a penalty. I think if you give that as a penalty, that's insane. That's insane. But you get it. End of the game. Like there's no time after this. There's no point in not doing it and checking it thoroughly, in my opinion. But there's no way that's a penalty for me. It's literally right next to him. The commentator's saying he thinks we'll get the penalty. We shouldn't, in my opinion. I don't think it's a penalty. I'll be honest with you. They're still going over it. The referee's in discussion with VAR as everyone stands around waiting for it. There's no time to waste at this point. You might as well take as long as you want to try and figure out whether or not it is a penalty from the VAR standpoint. I mean, look, the hand's above his head. Is the hand in an unnatural position? Yes, of course it is. But the ball's not going to be there. He doesn't know it's going to happen. If that's given as a penalty, I'll be real with you. I think it's incredibly unfair to Freiburg. Incredibly unfair to Freiburg, because it shouldn't be. 4+ minutes of stoppage time have obviously gone. We're about to hit 6 minutes. This will be the last thing that happens in the game regardless. It will either be a penalty or it will be... It'll either be a penalty or it will be, you carry on with life. We're still waiting here. 60 seconds have gone yet more. We're still waiting for a decision. Look, here's how we break it down, right? Does it hit his hand? Yes. Is his hand in an unnatural position? Yes. The player is like this. The hand, it comes up, hits him here. The thing is, the ball gets kicked from literally on top of him. Him and Souček are practically hugging. And so he kicks it, ball comes up, hits his hand. Hand in an unnatural position, yes. Does it hit his hand? Yes. There's no way it's purposeful. There's no way he can mean to do that. He just happens to be in the position. The ball gets kicked into it. Referee's going to the screen. The referee's going to the screen. There was been conversation between the two commentators about whether or not he should go earlier. They're talking about the law is that he has to be invited to go and look at it. And he has now, which usually means that this is going to be overturned. But again, in this situation, it might not be. His arms are in an unnatural position, but let's be real about it. It's not in an advantageous position. It's not like he's thinking the ball's going to land there and his arms are going to be there. If this is given, that's insane. This is insane if this is given. We're still going. Referees looked at it about 15 times at this stage. It's not been nice. It's been probably 10. How this is still going on, I'll never know. Commentators just said it's been 4 minutes. Yeah, because it was right at the end of stoppage time. So it's been over 4 minutes since this incident happened. The referee seems to have made a decision. No pen. It's an insane state of affairs, but I'll be real with you. The correct decision. It shouldn't have been a penalty. The commentator in my ear right now is saying that it's ridiculous, but I completely disagree. I don't think that was a penalty. And the fact that the right decision was made at the end of it, I think is fine. It's insane that it took that long. It's completely and utterly insane that it took over 4 minutes to decide that that was not a penalty, when I don't think it should have been even remotely close to doing it. But the right decision was made. There is the final whistle after it. It ends Freiburg 1, West Ham United 0. I don't think either team deserved to win, if I'm being completely honest about it. I feel like it should have been 0-0. I think in the second half, in the first half, they weren't really that dangerous. I feel like we created some okay chances, but we weren't really that dangerous. I feel like in the second half, it should have been ours. We should have scored, but we didn't, and we wasted a lot of opportunities where we shouldn't have done. We were much better in the second half, but I don't think we should have deserved to win it. There's a lot of players surrounding the referee right now, Kurt Zuma and Areola, two of them. But ultimately, they get a goal due to a complete lapse of defensive concentration from all of our players, and they get the win. It's one of those games where I don't think either team deserved it, but they took the opportunities and we didn't. I think that's the correct decision, and I don't think it should have been a penalty at the end, regardless. I don't think that was a penalty. I think if that was given as a penalty, and I was a Freiburg fan, I would have been fuming, because that was not a penalty in my book. Regardless, there is the links for the full-time match review. Geo will be live in a couple of moments. He might have disagreed with me. He might think it was a penalty. Go ahead and have a look, because I'm sure he'll be talking about that in just a few moments' time. Apart from that, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Massively appreciate you all for joining. Massive shout out to Chuck, to Acidity Punch Drunk Gaming, to Sharky, and to Man United for life. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and like the video on your way out, and make sure you like the review. Go smash that like button on the review. Get in there, because it helps out massively. And Geo's going to be live in a few minutes, so head on over. Appreciate you all. Appreciate it, and I will see you for the game against Burnley at the weekend. Cheers, everyone. Bye. Bye.